Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the Morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. It's Rob and RJ on a rainy Monday morning. Good morning, RJ.
Hello, Robert.
Oh, wow. Sounded like my father just called me.
Yeah.
I hear that. From anybody my age or older, I'm in trouble. I'm either in front of the law, a judge, or my parents. Morning, Vincent.
What about in some sort of legal proceeding?
That's what I'm saying. In front of the law, a judge, or my parent. When I hear Robert, that's not a good time in any of those. Well, my parents, that's one thing, but normally I'm in trouble.
On the subject of legal proceedings, I finished jury duty over the weekend, and now I doubt everything around me. Like everything's fake.
Rewind. What do you mean you finished jury duty over the weekend?
The television show. I tweeted about this, and everybody was like, "Oh, like how did it go?" And I was like, "No, not like my civic duty."
You're going to have to talk to a lot of different people about this above and beyond the Twitter sphere. What exactly were you doing so everybody in the world knows?
I watched Jury Duty, the show on Amazon.
Oh, we're talking about the show Jury Duty. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so and now I'm questioning everything around me. Like I feel everything is
you
fake.
think you're living in the Matrix now? It's
I'm the Truman Show.
That's it, the Truman Show. You think, well, I'm in fact an actor in your universe.
I completely believe
this isn't real.
Yeah.
None of this is real.
None of it is.
That's how I live my life. It's not real. I can do whatever I want. It's not going to affect anything.
It's just code. It's just code. That's all it was.
Just fallen numbers. Speaking of fallen numbers, Mike McCarthy will not be getting a raise on extension until he earns such a thing.
Stupid.
Will that be applied to their quarterback? We're going to talk a lot about that. Of course, the games. Man, it was a good weekend of football. The Texans game got a little out of hand, but even then, it was still kind of an exhibition and a competition for the future and the present. And then
we got a game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Saturday night. Yeah, and we had 2 tight down to the wire games on Sunday. I mean, and 4 teams went home sad. Welcome.
It is hard to argue with the teams we're left with the games we got. I have been a Baker Mayfield champion, not to the extent that maybe I should be, and many are going to claim to be today. But I've always felt like that dude's a champ. I mean, in a champ, what I mean is he believes it to the extent he will do something stupid to get it. And there's been a lot of guys that got it that were just stupid, but they were willing to do things that other guys aren't. And I give guys like that credit because he's gone through the muck and the mire of being a dude in the right place in the wrong time and the wrong time in the right place, whatever it might be. And to be successful like this, he's always been a cockroach. As long as you're not watching him, things are going to go great. But congrats, man. I hope you go get 40 million. Go get 40. Go make $120 million, bro. You earned it yesterday.
He was kind of an afterthought, obviously. First number 1 overall pick in NFL history to be on at least 4 teams in their first 6 seasons. And people act like being compared to Tim Tebow is this smiting sort of thing. Like the quality you mentioned is important. I mean, like dudes play for Baker. There's no doubt. Like seems like the coolest dude in the world. Like he'd be such a great friend. Like seems like he's like naturally good at any kind of Xbox game. You know what I mean? Like he just seems like I'd love to hang out with Baker Mayfield.
He's a bro.
He was dealing. He really was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't some sort of fluke. It wasn't like they just barely got there. He was dealing and had his team on the cusp. And the Bucks, he's the perfect Bucks quarterback.
Right now, ideal. Go pay the man. I think he's earned it. Bowles gets to keep his gig, which might have been in question just a couple of months back. I think that everybody acquitted themselves quite well this weekend. There wasn't, except for the Buffalo Bills, and we're going to talk about cursed franchises, but wide right. Oh my God, I couldn't believe of all the ways to go down. Now there's a whole generation of people that didn't live through it, but there's were you a wide right guy? Do you remember that?
Super Bowl 25, Whitney Houston, national anthem.
Okay, but do you remember it like when it happened, or was this in the annals of?
I'm a student of the game, so yeah. I mean, I don't want to date myself or yourself.
No, I'm just curious because I mean, the wide right stuff that damn near killed Scott Norwood. I mean, that followed him forever.
If anybody has seen the Four Falls of Buffalo,
oh yeah,
30 for
there you
30,
go.
He's obviously a big part of it, and he discusses the negative impact that it had on him. I mean, it's just, but Scott. I mean, I understand why people are comparing this, but Scott Norwood's wide right was like wide right. I mean, like this was like it never had a chance. This kick, I mean, had like
I know
this was torturous. I mean, this looked great, and then the wind said, "Not today." So. I mean, there was a moment of joy. Like actually, at the end of that 30 for 30, they do some sort of editing where they make it. I don't know why. I don't know why
bend in.
Yeah, like I don't know why anybody would have wanted this,
no.
but they edit it and make it seem like he made it, and then kind of like show them celebrating, which is kind of stupid. But
how awful.
You know, their editorial decision. Anyway, this had that moment where like everyone saw it going through, like, oh hell yeah, here comes wow. Yeah.
The agony. So I don't know where they go. I know where we're going. We're going to talk about the Spurs at 7. 1-1 over the weekend.
Not 2-0, like I thought.
Yeah, they let that Charlotte game. That was not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the Washington game was touch and go a little bit.
It was everything we wanted. Did you feel like Kyle Kuzma was trying out?
A little bit. I saw some Instagram posts, some Instagram edits with Kyle Kuzma, and I was like, you know what? If you're trying to manifest this, Kyle, I'm here to be entertained.
It appeared that he was pressing just a tad, but hey, man, I've never been a Kyle Kuzma guy, and I'm still not in his camp. But if the price is right, he's a bucket. He would be as reliable a bucket as anybody else we got.
It's interchangeable at this point. I mean, with DeJounte, Trae Young exists in a stratosphere in and of his own self. And then after that, you want to bring in, flip a coin on any one of these dudes. And I'm good. Let's party.
What did you do in your off time this weekend? Were you hold up like I was? I felt like I crawled into a cave this weekend.
I did not. We had things around the house to do, a little bit, some honeydew stuff. And I helped my parents with something, had to move some carpets and things like that.
Ooh.
And then I smoked some ribs on Sunday and, enjoyed that.
We need to discuss your rib recipe. You do ribs entirely different than I do.
I mean,
there's no wrong way.
Ribs,
and
I want ribs often, to be clear. I'm not,
they look fantastic.
They were great, but I just like, I don't want to act like I don't like ribs or anything, but they're a weird thing to eat for me. You can't eat those like in the office. You know what I mean? Like it's
why
a weird,
not?
Like, well, because like it's a messy proposition. Like it's something I would only eat in the comfort of my own home. You know what I mean? Like it's and what sides do you realize? What are the best sides for ribs? Because you can't eat anything with a fork because your fork gets disgusting.
Well, your fork's going to get disgusting. Your fork's going to get sticky.
That's what I'm saying. It's an inconvenient, food. If you want to eat French fries with it, that's fine because you're eating those with your hands. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're like, oh, I like mac and cheese or whatever with my ribs, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to say.
Well, you got a problem with some
ugly,
some rib fingers, some sticky fingers. You got a problem with that?
I'm a fan of efficiency and practicality, and that gets in my way. It's a level of resistance and friction that I don't want to plan and account for.
Wow. That's an unfortunate. It's hard to be a foodie if that's the way you're going to go. But I get it. But
yeah, I mean,
it's worth the effort if you enjoy a fine rib. And I've eaten ribs sitting right where I am many times.
What's your ideal rib side? You get two sides with your ribs. What do you choose?
You got to have something to balance out the sweet.
Okay.
So I prefer a very good mustard-based potato salad. And then a good hearty bean. You could do pinto. I don't care, but a good hearty other protein to go along with it.
Actually, now you need two utensils. You need a spoon for your beans.
No, your beans you can just use a fork. I don't go the.
I'm not double dipping a fork in beans and potato salad. That's again. Now you're living, a whole different way from.
Well, man, if we're gonna see, that's why. it's good to have these superficial conversations before you dive in, because what you just said, we're speaking entirely different languages. Because if you can't do that, then it's a non-starter. You're not going to enjoy it, because what do you mean you can't double dip?
It's a liquefied.
How many forks
thing.
do you eat with? When you get those forks, that first fork, that's the salad fork. And once you're done with it, you got to give it. They want to come and they want to take it. So they're going to come take it. And then you got another one. That's your dinner fork. They're going to come take that too. And then that last one, that's your dessert fork. That's that little one. So that just because you got 3 forks doesn't mean every time you change from beans to potato salad, you use a different fork.
So
you can stick it in your mouth and wipe it clean. You're not throwing it on the ground.
You seem proud of this way of eating, like you would eat this way in front of anybody.
I think everyone eats this way. Your utensils have to be wiped clean from one food to another.
Let me ask you something. Okay, like based on your line of habitual, sort of operation here.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the suite yesterday in Orchard Park with Jason Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we were eating finger foods though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you eat this there in that
ribs?
In that vibe? In that
hell
room?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Jason Kelce's with you. I think Jason's like, let's go, Rob. You know what I mean? Like
that's why he's going to retire. He found a rib-eating wife.
I mean, he was shirtless. Why do we have to be shirtless in this cold? What's the whole point of this? Jason, you're in a climate-controlled room. Let's not act like you're living among us here. There's a suite back there. There's a heater in that room.
So the rumor floating around is both are going to be retired before the league year begins.
I don't believe that.
You don't think Travis is done? That 2 touchdowns brought him back from the brink.
No, I mean they're also they're 2 wins away from it. He has the potential to be the greatest tight end of all time. Like he's literally right there.
Could he do more to get there? I think he's pretty much done it, man. How many? I cannot. Kansas City is the New England, man. They're always there, and he's just like Gronk, always here.
That's what I'm saying, though. Gronk doesn't have 4. You go there and you get.
Oh yeah, and that might be enough to bring him back if they don't get it. But I get the sense that he's about done.
If y'all get that third, though, you get people talk about one for the thumb. If you get the pinky one, you know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. And Travis has that potential. I mean, like you mentioned it. Like I don't think that Kansas City's on the precipice of a dynasty thing. I mean, maybe that's about to ramp up this week, but like they are literally on the precipice of a dynasty at this point.
But don't forget what we saw of him for 6 weeks.
Well, there's a dynasty floating that like never was as well. Like San Francisco's in the NFC title game for the 3rd straight year, and they're 4th in 5 years. Like you got nothing to show for it. You're the early 2000s Suns. You know what I mean? Like it means nothing. Like what is the value? Like if the Niners lose this game on Sunday, like it's actually the worst possible thing in sports. Like you were good enough to get this close 4 times in 5 years and get nothing.
You can commiserate with those on the other side of the coast with the Buffalo Bills. And what's it all for? What is the purpose in life? How do we carry on, especially if there's no guaranteed money coming at the end of my next season? Mike McCarthy heading into the abyss as he will be coaching next season without a contract. Wait till you hear what Peter King has to say about them Dallas Cowboys. We're talking McCarthy and his future. Then very soon after that, we're looking at the Cowboys who have the second longest, well, wait till you hear this. It's the second longest NFC title game drought going, and it might be the longest before we're done. We're talking about all the Cowboys news that is worthy of crying over. What's that?
There are a million ways to exemplify how pathetic it is. We're going to go through all million of them.
Oh, it's awful. And it's 7:00. Wait till you hear the streak that the Spurs are on. It's a ridiculous one that takes some time to consider, but one worthy of discussion. And it goes at 7:00. It'll be a nice assist as we move in to the second half of the NBA season. Coming up, Mike McCarthy heading on the plank. Is he going to step into the ocean or step back on the boat? Peter King has his thoughts. We're getting there next. It's R&R. Called Rudy and Rob X No More. This is RJ, the new guy here in town. Everybody asked me all weekend, first of all, RJ, before we go to break, the number of compliments. I kind of feel like a proud coach. like a dude that just saw somebody go out and execute. Universal approval, man.
Well, then that means we have to come up with who we are in terms of like coach-player relationship.
No,
You know
I'm
what I
not
mean?
your
Like,
coach. I was.
No, but in this moment, you know what I mean? Like if you, what level of pride? Like what kind of
Dude.
player pride are you
Well,
feeling?
yesterday I was at an event and saw a bunch of people, a wide a range of San Antonio types. And to a man, they all came and lady, and said the insight that you offered over the last week was remarkable. That everybody went into last Tuesday thinking, how's this? And you were the first one to wake up and say, I got some bad news for you. You know what I mean? And you said it off the gate at 6:05 last week, as we talk about the effects of McCarthy staying. RJ told us as he came on air, man, I got some bad news for you guys, and I'm as mad as anybody. But I saw a tweet last night that tells me that he's coming back.
It's a weird skill that I have that everybody in high school said would be useless. But here we are.
Here we are.
Quality radio with it.
Free radio right here. We'll be right back. It's Rob and RJ right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait, text WARM to 200-300.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
Progressive asks, what do a slow Friday night, bored teenage boys,
I'm bored.
a pack of fireworks,
This is gonna be awesome.
and a teetering branch suspended over your car have in common?
Look out!
They can quickly wreak havoc on your slow Friday night.
Uh-oh.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Get deals on what you need during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Right now, save $20 on select 5-gallon ceiling paint or primer by HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. Plus, get 15% off and earn 3 times bonus points when you buy 4 or more Purdy products. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts of any. Valid 1/15 through 1/26. Subject to change.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Limitations apply.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Over the past decade, the Roof Hub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the UFC fights. And when you show up at the Roof Hub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Celebrating 10 years in business, the Roof Hub is next to the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The Jim Rome Show.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio.
Weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's Robin RJ. Hey, you might want to pack an umbrella. It was raining out there. I woke up to a flash flood, not alert, warning. Now, I got up to that. I'm up on the northwest side of town and thought, oh, here we go. Because, when you drive in that early in the morning, it is treacherous, to say the least, because nobody's been on the highway and water starts to stand. So I was heading in. Now, I don't know if it's still the case, but when I was coming in, I don't have any verification, so don't go by this. But 10 eastbound, just south of, or just north or west, depending on how you're looking at it, of Medical, if you're heading, that most of the highway was underwater, and there were cars that had hit that water and it floated into the, so they only had the far left lane was open, and this has been a couple hours ago, several hours ago.
Wow.
But so take your time, be careful, don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going after a really phenomenal weekend of football, worthy of the championship weekend we're going to get. And our championship weekend is brought to you by Flight by Yingling. All the championship games that are fit for broadcast. We got before, during, and after. We got it right here. Thanks to Flight by Yingling. It'll be a fun Sunday afternoon of worthy football. And we're going to talk all about the different angles coming into this weekend, but great games, and Vegas bound in 3 weeks, RJ. 3 weeks.
Not even. 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Dude.
Next Sunday.
Time to pack.
Yeah.
Time to plan.
Bring a smock we were talking about before the show started. either way, I don't know what the forecast is for Sin City.
You ready for some all-nighters? We're going to be able to.
I've been to Vegas.
You're a craps player?
And you know what? I'm going to be really. I'm pretty annoyed at this. I'm pretty annoyed at all the people who are going to tweet that show up for the Super Bowl. Like, how about that ride in? I'm pretty annoyed at that. Like, that's going to be super annoying.
How about that? What?
Also, how about that ride in? Which is the line that Alan reads in his toast in The Hangover.
Oh,
he just starts off. He's like, "How about that ride in?" And so, like, now anybody who ever goes to Vegas says, "How about that ride in?" I'm also pretty annoyed because great funny movie, but I'm pretty annoyed at all the like local news people who are going to go do their hits there, and they're going to go, "This is the real Caesar's Palace. It's been done a million times. We don't have to do that, people. We're okay." Like the joke has been made. I saw this. I don't know where I saw this like a few weeks ago, but like it was like people act like Vegas has never seen anything like. You're right. Vegas has never seen 4 dudes in Macy's shirts who are going to take some shots in their room and go out for 3 hours. Like, you're right. It's never seen anything like y'all.
We're gonna tear it up.
Yeah. So yeah, good times.
We're gonna be. I was at the one of the lower end hotels one time for a basketball tournament, and we're getting to the hotel, and it's a casino on the bottom floor, and I'm waiting to get in line, and it's a bunch of guys with basketball players, and everybody with a cooler.
Okay.
Well, full of whatever.
Right.
I'm used to that. That's how we're going to be. So you better bring your cooler.
You're calloused. You're ready.
No, actually, we have a lovely home. We got a house with a pool.
Oh, dude. Well, I think I was told that you're going to do some material from the pool. So
I always do. No, it's 2 weeks away. We will be there front, center, up and down as it isn't going to be, I don't know what to expect from Vegas because of its 24-hour nature. And I'm so accustomed to going to work as the parties are ending. Now we're going to be going to work as the parties are still going. We could go to a party when we're done.
We are the party. What are you talking
that's
about?
What I'm saying.
Go to them. Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be an interesting experience, certainly. I'm anxious to see what teams will be a part of the
festivities.
festivities.
We've been to several Super Bowls together. This isn't our first.
I know, but it's never one in Vegas. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like, I'm interested to see, what the like lay of the vibe is, and I'm interested to see what teams are there because I know that the Dallas Cowboys will not be.
No, they won't. And
did you see a few weeks ago? And I don't want to drag Dak Prescott, but he had a line about how he, in an effort to keep his focus on Las Vegas, was only buying or utilizing Louis Vuitton luggage to keep the LV in focus.
That's how we roll. I keep LV in front of me all the time just to keep me focused. He's RJ. I'm Rob. We do this radio show, and we're going to do it very well when we get back. Mike McCarthy stands in front of the abyss. Coming into the season with no contract. What's going to happen with Dak? And wait till you hear what Peter King has to say. I delayed it. I put it together, but here it comes. We're talking about it next. It's Rob and RJ right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the AFC NFC championship games are set. What a weekend of football it was. We'll react to it all.
Absolutely, we will. Plus, we'll get you the latest on the Spurs after their weekend. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And now a message from Puffs Plus Lotion Tissues. Ordinary tissues can leave you with a red nose, so choose Puffs Plus Lotion for all of your blows. Puffs have lotion to soothe sensitive skin, so you can wipe without wincing. It's a win-win. Puffs have cushiony thickness, which brings relief too, so the days of sore red noses are gone and through. When you're after soothing softness, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
At the Home Depot, we have savings on laundry sets that fit your lifestyle. Like Whirlpool Laundry with a 2-in-1 removable agitator that allows you to customize any load. Simply remove the agitator to fit bulky items or keep it in to help break down dirt and grime. And with flexible capacity, you can finish more loads in less time. Final days to get up to $450 off select laundry sets from top brands like Whirlpool. At the Home Depot, how doers get more done. Pricing valid January 4th through the 24th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Yeah, we're replacing the carpets too, so don't worry about that.
No fresh powder yet, but Dan's Ski Lodge has an avalanche of projects.
Those 4 rooms are getting hot tubs.
He needs a staff engineer to navigate a flurry of new requests.
And all of those will be fully ADA accessible.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Connecticut. SA.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94-1, San Antonio Sports Star.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you. He's okay, I'm Rob. Grab your raincoat, your umbrella, and your floaties. Going to be a damp ride in. We got a bunch of rain last night. I don't know what part of town you live in, but where I'm from, I had a flash flood warning alert on my phone. I don't remember hearing it during the evening. My area was flooded, but not awful. But I have heard tell of other areas. So mind your P's and Q's, turn around, don't drown, all that kind of stuff. And why would you want to get out of your car anyway? because you got us. Although you can take us with you wherever you go. Hopefully you're watching us right now on your device. So we're all day to day, as Keith Olbermann used to say. I mean, it's nice to have a contract that gives you comfort if you make a mistake. But most of us don't work with long-term contracts that if you fire me today, you're going to pay me for the duration. Most of us are day-to-day, hour-to-hour, paycheck to paycheck, at-will employees. Mike McCarthy is no different from most of us. But why does it feel so different, as McCarthy will be coaching next year without a contract extension coming?
Yeah. I think it feels different because this is a horrible idea. Because there's no real precedent for this working out in NFL history. Because the Dallas Cowboys once again failed and did so
spectacularly.
Well, I was going to yes, but particularly because of coaching, which is the part of the organization that Michael McCarthy oversees, and so it just feels like you're. I mean, it feels like you're lazy. It feels like you're signing up to do nothing. It feels like, I mean, I've done a lot of defending of the Jones family in the notion that people say that they don't care about winning. They just prioritize making money, which they're obviously very good at. But it's really difficult to fight back on that claim today because, I mean, we found out it's not a shock that McCarthy's going to go into the season in a contract year, right? A week ago, we found out he was not even a week. We found out he was going to be coming back for 2024. And I tweeted over the weekend, I said, this is an objectively horrible idea. And a lot of people were like, well, you don't want to give it, because I said, you can't give him an extension. People said, well, you don't want an extension, but you think this is a bad idea. Quit talking out of both sides of your mouth. No, I'm talking out of one place. And it's that you had to move on. You had to move on. You cannot do this. And here's the thing.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I mean,
I'm not only not alone. Is there anybody who opposes this idea?
Okay, so I get universal. It is universal disgust. Universal. I'm looking at a poll on The Athletic. What did Peter King say? Peter King,
King tore them a new one.
And Peter King is, I'm not sure how relevant he is to the average guy. You know what I mean? I feel like his day is kind of come and gone. But I will say this. The guys that read and care about what Peter King has to say are general managers and inside football types. They look at Peter King, those that came up in the business, as really one of those scribes, one of those above and beyond journalists. They kind of have the temperature of the league and the people. And when he calls you out, man, that's amongst your peers.
So this morning's Football Morning in America, King discussed Jerry's decision to bring McCarthy back. He has, I mean, this is like 500 words. Maybe not quite, but this part is kind of hits the whole point. Verbatim. Seriously, with the same staff and core, do you really expect anything different in 2024? This is a franchise that needs to be taken by the scruff of the neck, shaken and changed from the inside out. But no, instead, Jones is running it back. I mean, how could you possibly, Rob, you're a parent. I mean, imagine if either of your children did something improper or against the rules and did so for the third time, and you said, guys, you can't be doing this anymore.
Well,
we got to mix this up. And
okay, wait a minute.
Dad, we're not going to change a single thing that we do. Oh, cool. All right. Well, all right. Problem solved.
It wasn't like McCarthy was an abject failure. I mean, he got all A's during the semester and failed the final.
That's the most important part. You get the syllabus at the beginning of the year.
But I'm saying if I'm going to treat them like a son or a subordinate, I have to look at the positives too, and I have to look at the receipts from previous efforts. This isn't just a one-off thing. You don't get to act in a vacuum. There is a continuum to this, and I look at 3 consecutive seasons of highly successful football. I have played in front of a packed home stadium. I have gone years without losing at home. I'm making more money than I can count right now, and I'm still in the middle of it. So forgive me as owner going, it ain't that bad. No, there's a couple games I'd like to win, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and this business, the Dallas Cowboys business, is doing just fine.
Yeah, I don't doubt that the Joneses are concerned about the state of the Dallas Cowboys
right,
business
so
because there's nothing but evidence supports that. But your point about the home building, So the San Francisco 49ers and Baltimore Ravens won their respective playoff games this weekend, right? And they ensure that they will play conference championship games in their building. So what that means, though, is that every building that featured a playoff game this postseason will have seen the home team win at least one game in it. All right, the Bills lost their second one yesterday, and even if the Niners and Ravens lose the title games, they both delivered a home playoff win. The only team that hosted a playoff game this season that did not win a single one was the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a really creative person, and I'm running out of ways to contextualize, how embarrassing this is, because the number is too vast at this point. Like I can't reach the quantity. I mean, Rob, they have the second longest, and that's not all Mike McCarthy's fault, and I will give him credit for that. But they have the second longest conference championship appearance. Dude, the 3-1-3 is back, and they are not. And I mean, yes, he got all A's on his, regular assignments and his pop quizzes, and all that's cool and fine and dandy. But did he really get all A's? Because he barely beat this Lions team, and you could certainly argue that they should have lost. He lost to the Dolphins. He lost in embarrassing fashion to the Bills. He lost in embarrassing fashion to the 49ers. Right now, Rob, I don't know that you're defending McCarthy, but if you are, I think you need to have another cup of coffee. Look at the Final Four.
Oh, I'm not defending him. I'm just giving you what I believe Jerry is saying.
Look at the Final Four teams. If any one of them could swap head coaches straight up with Mike McCarthy, do they?
No.
Right?
No. No.
Do any one of them, this is the question that I'm having a hard time answering. Do any one of them swap quarterbacks for Dak Prescott? Obviously, Kansas City and Baltimore don't.
No. Why would you?
Then then how on earth can you say, like, oh, let's run it back because maybe we'll be fifth?
That might be the answer to your question right there. That might be, at the end of the day, enough. If you can't say one thing and do another.
I mean, they are. They're saying that they're all about.
It's all good, man.
That they're like they clearly. This behavior most of all time reflects that they're fine just treading water. They're fine.
You're not treading water. You know how hard it is to tread water when you're holding up $8 billion? These guys are doing great. Jerry's doing great. You think he's really crying as he's flying off to his yacht?
Buy into us.
No, I don't think that at all, which is what pisses me off. Do you know that he is the owner with the longest drought in terms of conference championship appearances in the NFC? I mean, Rob,
I'm worth $8 billion, baby.
When the Cowboys last appeared in the NFC Championship game, for that matter, but obviously the Super Bowl, they had appeared. This was Super Bowl 30, and obviously the title game before. They had appeared in 16 of 30 title games. Think about how stupid that is. Like, that is actually, it should be illegal.
That's how I grew up. And that's why we can go this long without doing it, because most of the people buying the tickets are my age, and we just feel like that was just last year. Didn't Emmett just retire 2 years ago?
I mean, it's an indictment. I mean, so to act like, oh, we're good, just running it back. Like, yes, some cool things have happened. We've had some great times. We've all got some NFC East championship caps that are collecting dust in the office.
Yeah, man, they're cool.
This is not enough. And you've learned from literally everything else that it's not enough. And yet you want to sit and stand pat, and you're so, functionally embarrassing that now Peter King has to devote part of his Monday morning column on the Monday after the divisional round of the playoffs to offer humiliation towards you because you deserve that big of a scoop.
I'm Jerry, and I called him and told him to print it. I'm Jerry, and I said, you know what you should do? Tell me I need to shake up my team by the scruff of its neck. That sounds like a Jerry saying. You know what you should tell me? Tell me I should shake them up like by the scruff of their neck. We're going to shake this show like the scruff of their neck. Hey, coming back, you think it's bad in Dallas. How'd you like to be in Buffalo today? There's about 8 foot of snow, and sadness is icing over. Those tears are icing over the roads leading from Orchard Park. Wide right yet again points us toward a pretty fun weekend of championship football coming up on Sunday. We're talking about it next. This is Rob and RJ here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown,
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Meet Cheryl. Hey, she's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
We're here with Jose Rios, attorney at the Gomez Law Firm. If you are injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, Jose, what's the first thing our listeners should do?
The first thing they should do is pick up the phone, call the Gomez Law Firm, or Google joegomezlaw.com.
Gomez Law has been protecting the people of our community for almost 50 years. They're the leader in personal injury law.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do carbon monoxide cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries.
But that's not all your firm does, Jose. Tell us a little more about other cases Gomez Law takes on and wins here in Texas.
Really, anything that involves a personal injury and a third party that is responsible for causing that injury, we will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Get deals on what you need during MVP's bonus days at Lowe's. Right now, save $250 when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch sliding miter saw and adjustable stand together. Plus, save $710 on an LG kitchen suite and earn 3 times the bonus points on all LG appliances. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts of any. Valid 1/15 to 1/26. Subject to change.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop. The all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Rob and RJ on a damp Monday morning. Seriously, turn around, don't drown, mind them brake lights. I know of at least a couple of roads that have been shut down due to accident or high water. So be careful on your ride in. The tears of sadness are covering Buffalo tonight or today as wide right yet again in what was, I don't know if it was the best game of the weekend, but it was pretty damn close. What was the best game of the weekend?
Are you saying it was? Or you asked
No, what was? Because it was either that one or Saturday night. I don't know which was better. I enjoyed them both.
I think Saturday, like San Francisco was kind of awful for some of Saturday night. Like the end, kind of landed the plane, but Chiefs Bills was kind of clutch from start to finish. I know it got a little bit boring at the very end, but Chiefs Bills also had some weird debatable stuff like the fumble out the end zone.
Let's talk about that real quick. Can we? Is that? I mean, in the order of importance of things that need to be addressed, the tush push is down the list. As far as when the owners and the GMs and the rules committee all gather together to figure out what the hell. This fumble out of the end zone, touchback kind of crap. We got to stop this.
I mean, look, anybody who thinks this is a good idea, Joe Reinagel, you need to come back down to earth because this is ridiculous.
It is.
Now, the whole whoa, man, why are you catering things to the offense? Let the defense have one thing. It's not an advantage. The defense should be rewarded because that's where the fumble went. You know what I mean? Like they didn't force it to go out of bounds. So there are several different ideas. My favorite has always been if you want to punish the offense, by all means, but they shouldn't lose possession. Put them back at their own 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back them up.
Fair enough.
Or I saw this floating around. I shared this in our chat. If you want to give the defense the ball, fine, but give it to them where the ball went out. Like on the 1 yard line. Like this idea that they should just get a free 25 yards is stupid. Like the swing in that is so dumb and ridiculous. By the way, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler did report that this is likely going to come up, and I saw some fun being had because of course it happened
Buffalo.
in the Chiefs Bills playoff game. Yeah, of course they get all the love.
We got a Buffalo. Well, we can't have this happen to us again. Although that was positive. They shouldn't even gotten the ball,
dude. People are going to focus on Tyler Bass, but I mean, Sean McDermott's fake punt was the dumbest thing of all time.
It was very strange the way that it went down. For those that were watching it live and could hear the sound, if you're in a bar, it's hard to. But when you're watching it, it was quiet, and the camera angle was really close up, so you couldn't. It was just a very strange play call. You could tell the TV production staff wasn't ready for it. Whoever was counting down just saw 10 dudes and changed the play. And I know that's one of those, look to me, check down kind of things, but that was unfortunate.
Embarrassing. They lost the game like 14 ways.
And at least many. And we'll talk about all those and how the Spurs went 500 over the weekend. The silver and black is coming around the corner. And wait till you hear the streak that they're on. It really is impressive, as is Rob and RJ here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the AFC, NFC championship games are set. What a weekend of football it was. We'll react to it all.
Absolutely, we will. Plus, we'll get you the latest on the Spurs after their weekend. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks, with everything from tequila cocktails to extensive bourbon categories that you will not believe. Their top shelf spirits and cocktails served over those icy balls cannot be matched. Twin Peaks has you covered. And don't forget about the 29-degree man-sized drafts.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text JUDGE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 42424. That's JUDGE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Chronic pain can be very bossy. What do I mean? It tells you what you can or can't do. Sometimes it even has the audacity to keep you from working.
I missed almost 3 weeks of work and I was no longer able to play tennis. The pain was really debilitating sometimes. I missed Thanksgivings.
Abby was ready to put the bossy bad back in her past. And that's when she discovered QC Kinetics and their non-surgical treatments for pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine with tens of thousands of satisfied patients, people who have experienced real lasting relief without drugs and without surgery.
It has just been the most life-changing, amazing experience. Not only life-changing, but career-saving. I get to continue to do the career that I love. I'm playing tennis again.
Stop letting that joint pain boss you around. Start with a free consultation at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head, comb it over, wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to anyone that texts expert to 200-300. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let Bosley show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Text expert to 200-300. That's expert to 200-300.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The division weekend is done, and the Texans are coming home. They went down 34-10. They were playing with house money, a worthy effort, and look forward to a bright future there. Great night for the Chiefs as wide right happened again, 27-24 as the Chiefs take it. They'll be taking on Detroit Sunday right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys. Yama about 3 feet behind the line, got it!
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. It's Rob and RJ on a bright and shiny somewhere
Monday morning for those of us stuck in the rain. Don't mind the brake lights. Turn around, don't drown, be safe, drive slow, do all that stuff. Oh, the other thing that I learned early on, don't use your cruise control. You might end up facing the wrong way, going the other direction, and doing that kind of stuff, so be safe. How you doing this fine morning, RJ?
I and a second cup of coffee. That's how I'm doing.
Yeah, I was just talking to our DH, Ryan, who stumbled in here. I was like, dude, it's Monday. He goes, man, you need more caffeine. I was like, I don't think that's it. I've had a fair amount.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an energy shot guy,
No.
like most of y'all, but
well, we have to be.
The Java. I mean, I'm all about this. I need cup number 2.
Spurs go 500 over the weekend. They still sit with with the worst record in the West. They're not the worst. They're next to worst. I don't know what happened last night, but they're right there. But you get the sense that 500 weeks, winning and losing, 2 up, 1 down, 2 up, isn't that far away. They're not there yet. The Charlotte game going into the back-to-back, that was disappointing. Not going in, but leaving the back-to-back
Being a little generous, yeah.
Was disappointing. It went back to what is so wrong. But what we saw against the Wizards was, Wemby led, lots of points, not a lot of minutes. Got a little touch and go. They held on late. They did everything that a fair to Midland team should be doing. And we're seeing more of that than we have previously. That being said, you brought up a stat this morning that I don't know how to parse, because it's one of those Elias Sports Bureau baseball kind of stats that when you hear, you go, well, I don't want no explicative. Really? No blank.
Yeah.
This is one of those no blank kind of stats.
So, first of all, Money Paradox asked on YouTube if I'm a Street Fighter, Tekken, or Mortal Kombat person. I do want to address this. Tekken. That was my
Tekken, Mortal Kombat. It's right. It's Shoney's Denny's.
Yeah, I mean, wow, I hadn't heard Shoney's in a long time.
I know they're all. What I'm trying to get at is they're all the same.
Wow.
But I'm
anyway.
a Mortal Kombat fan though. Anyway,
Tekken and Shoney's for me. Anyway, so the Spurs on Saturday became the second team in NBA history to record 20 or more assists in 100 consecutive games. Won that game, actually kicked off a 3-game winning streak, which they have not had so far this season. But hey, you never know.
You hear that 20 dimes a game for 100 straight, and the record doesn't mean squat. There's nothing to show for it. What's the record of the last 100 games?
Well, those are semantics. Nobody has to get into that. But this is insane. Like 100. This had only ever happened one time. Once. This has only been done one time before in all of NBA history.
Who is that?
Well, you have to guess. You think it was those same Rockets?
No, you have to. Okay, if you're gonna talk assists, you have to go. Okay, when would there been an era with a lot of assists? When was it offensive friendly? When was there a time when not a lot of defense was being played and fouls, much like in this era? When was the last time that was like that? And I would go right in the either early mid 80s or about 15 years ago. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, so those are your eras, and I guess I'll give you. You're like Taylor, Rob. You got a lot of eras. I'll give you some partial credit.
I do have a lot of eras.
The streak in question came from 1984.
There you go.
1986. Okay, who was the team that reached 120 games with 20 or more assists?
Well, that's Showtime.
It was the Lakers. Look at you, Rob, piecing things together. You're like on a game show, just kind of like.
Well, it's funny because my thought is when you first told me team had averaged 20 assists a game, and I know the output for at least this team with 20 assists per game, and I went,
not averaging, by the way. Like,
I mean, straight. That's what I'm sorry. It's 100 straight games of 20 or better assists, and I thought on its premise, I'd go, wow, that's championship level crap. That number tells me that whoever's doing that is passing the ball and sharing and going good to better and better to best and the beautiful game kind of stuff. And then I go, well, wait a minute. we're doing that, and that doesn't mean crap. And then
By
you
the
go,
way,
there's nobody else doing anything like this. And the last time it did happen was in the early 80s.
By the way, the Lakers streak began with a game against Dallas. So you were close.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
man.
Like you had all.
It's just those
you know,
kind of Rain Man numbers that keep us playing.
Yeah, you could kind of sense all the details on the precipice of both reaching 100 games. The Indiana Pacers, Rob, began their streak 6 days after the Spurs in December of 2022. They're sitting on 97 games right now. So they're 3 games behind the Spurs with 20 or more assists in every single game.
So it hadn't happened in 40 years. You got 2 teams neck and neck right now.
Yeah, the interesting thing the Pistons did on March 4th, 1986. 2 months after the Lakers streak that we're talking about ended.
So 2 championship teams back then and
Yeah.
2 average to bad teams now.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a way to cope or feel good about the Spurs, just know they're playing the same kind of basketball the championship teams were in the late 80s.
In the 40s.
No, the 40 years ago.
It's about penetration and threes. That's all it is. And it's hard to get a bunch of assists when you're doing that unless you're not shooting a bunch of threes.
To your point, though, Indiana is obviously the best comp because they're active, right? So this is 97 games. How many of their past 97 games do you think the Pacers have won?
I would say they might be at 500. I'd say 50 each, 50-50.
45. I mean, you're right there. But
Yeah.
my point is, like, they've won over almost twice as many games as the Spurs have in this exact same time. But of all teams, the one who comes close to challenging, Utah has a streak active as well. They're at 63 games.
Is there a star
really
on any team you just mentioned? Do we have Wemby's headed there, but he ain't yet. He's close, but he's not. Halliburton's close. Halliburton's, he's one of those guys we've been talking about, and he's played a huge role in the second half of this run, but he wasn't a huge role in all of this.
I'm looking for any team that's had a streak at least somewhere near this long that had a start. By the way, the Pacers had a streak of 67 games from December of 2019 through February of 2021. So they had a long streak going and then, fell off a little bit. And
Early
then
Nate
obviously,
McMillan.
Yeah, and then Carlisle came aboard and this is kind of their MO.
Well, Carlisle's a hell of a coach, and you telling me this began again once he arrived doesn't shock me a bit because they're going to play Indiana basketball in Indiana, and there's going to be good to better, better to best. That's just going to happen up there. That's how they sell tickets because there's no stars.
Relative to modern times, the 2017-2018 Warriors that season, well, not quite. Actually, this was the second half of the 2017 season. They reached 65 games. So this is the KD Warriors through both KD seasons, parts of both. Ultimately, still had a lot of assists, 20 more assists in 65 consecutive games. But even recently, the Warriors had reached a 64-game streak of this particular variety from November of 2022 through April of last year. Even as recently as last year, they were playing this kind of basketball. The Warriors.
When you see a game like what Wemby got last night or Saturday night, the 24, 8 rebounds, 24 points, in pretty steady fashion. And the way that the game is played now is it's a drive, it's a penetrate and kick league, it's a skip pass league, it's a hockey assist league. It's not a drive and dish for a dunk or a layup. Now, there are the rim runners where you're going to have guys like Halliburton and those old school, the kind of point guards that we all remember as kids. Those guys are still going to be able to pull 8, 9, 10 assists a game. But because of that, there's not a lot of other assists to be given just because of the style that it takes to have one guy that's going to average 12 assists, who's going to be a very ball dominant guy. When I see a team averaging 20 assists for over 100 games, that tells me a team that has no stars. That means that we're just passing and hoping for a great shot. There's not one guy who is available to them, and I can look at the Pacers previously, and Halliburton's kind of helped with that over the last, over this season, as he has been kind of a revelation. But those two teams, there's nothing there. And then the last time we saw it was back in the 80s, back to back with two teams chock full of stars. And the Pistons and the Lakers, that was just because everybody on those two teams could shoot. Every pass was an assist.
Yeah, you either got to be, really bad or
really good.
Just incredibly all-time good. Again, the Warriors are kind of examples of this. On the Wemby note, saw some chatter on the internet. This was like, and all relatively speaking, of course, this was like the worst game he's played in a little bit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you say that, and like it sounds like, oh man, he stunk. No,
No, he did not.
He like think of this feels like the worst game he's played in some time. 24 points, so 8 total rebounds, 4 assists.
There's some
I will
volume
take
to that.
like but still, I will. And this was the first game where he you've been harping on like a point a minute guy. This is the first game where he wasn't like kind of más o menos, you know what I mean, like rounding a little bit. Wasn't a point a minute guy since the Memphis loss. On which was the first game of the year.
I mean, to consider a guy point a minute, we're talking Kobe now. I mean, legit. I mean, the comparisons, if you could even stay in the same vicinity of Kobe on your first year, you're right. You hit it on the head, and I think that's why, as we've seen the decision for whatever reason finally made to let Tre Jones be a point guard, which Tre last night or against the Wizards, phenomenal game. You want to talk about a stat line that should be put on his locker room, in his locker. Tre Jones rolls out and goes 11, 12, and 8. 11 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds in a game. We will win 75% of our games.
I mean,
without hesitation.
He's really become, I don't want to use the word wingman, but he's really become a necessary. Was he the predictable necessary?
Yes, he was the predictable. And I'll tell you why. Not only do you get that, which is fair to average. I mean, he's a good point guard. He ain't great. And, it will not be difficult to be supplanted. But he's a point guard in the NBA who, given the right amount of minutes, given some weapons to throw to, will average you those kind of assists because the way he plays. But what he did was what we saw against the Wizards. When he arrived, it freed Jeremy just to be a garbage man. Just to go and be, dude. The reason we drafted you, now you can be. And we saw it in 23 points. Just go be you, man. A little of this, a little of that. Hit a shot here. Dive for a ball. Get a couple of dunks. Couple of jumpers if we try a few of them, but go be Jeremy Sochan, the garbage man. And then when he does that, suddenly Devin's got some shots available to him. 21. So I think, there's this ripple effect of, yes, Tre is in. Doesn't mean he's great, but it freed the other dudes to go be them. And it allowed Wemby to have a less than normal Wemby night, still get the numbers, but it took a little bit longer. But it had Sochan getting some trash. We had guys moving, and it turned into a win on the road. My gosh. I mean, that's a tick on the gun handle if you're a gunfighter. Winning games is one thing at home, but to go on the road, even against a bad one, for this kind of team, that's huge, man. Huge. Now the Sixers ain't gonna be that much. I think we can celebrate and kind of take our wounds as we get ready for a much better basketball team. But they did go in and beat a team. When you see the Spurs anymore, you're expecting a win. You're bringing your A game. You invite your mama to that game.
Could you argue that Tre is a more important catalyst than Wemby in that sense?
No.
Why not? You just made the argument.
No,
the argument you just made is incredibly spirited.
No, what I mean is he's as good as he is. It's Wemby's still the catalyst for everything, as Wemby goes. So I get what you're saying.
Well, yes. What you're saying, it's your point. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the argument for Tre reaching that level allows Wemby to not have to carry everything.
Right.
And I'm not saying like in a perfect world. I mean, I think if you ask any Spurs fan, everybody wants Wemby to carry everything, right? But like the reality of that,
he will eventually
foster itself. I mean, but all the time, and that's like,
This
comes back to like the argument or the general, not even the argument, but just the general fact of it all. That at some point he's going to have to actually have a wingman.
Well,
and so my point is, if your wingman can be the catalyst the way Tre Jones was on Saturday night, then I mean, I don't want to say you're cooking with gas, but I mean, you have a real team at that point in time, not just Wemby and 4 dudes.
We'll use you need a pressure of 75%. Or I'm trying to find a way that I'm just trying to describe what, in my mind, Tre Jones means to the Spurs. Because if Tre was to offer 11, 12, and 8 in 3 years, in 3 years from now, when we have accomplished whatever the accomplishment is, there's another star here, there's a Robin to the Batman, there's another couple, and Tre is still here. They've decided at some point that he is here, and he runs these kind of numbers. That's a 60-win team then, because Wemby will always, at that point, be will average the same amount of assists or close to it. He will, at that point, be that guy where he is the center to the circle. I mean, he will really be, everything goes through him. But when Trey offers that, especially with the 8 rebounds, then those 20 assists a game start to mean something, because then we really are going good to better, better to best, because we've got 2 dudes that are not only capable of dropping the pass to the right guy at the right time, but you can have one in and one out all the time. I mean, there's placement attitudes that you have with your point guard and your big that's what we want then. Now, we need Wemby to be a little bit, the guy a little bit more, maybe more than he's comfortable with. And Trey just continue doing this. You see what I'm saying? I don't think this level of play at point guard is a catalyst now. It'll be a piecemeal thing later if we get Wemby where Pop thinks he's going to be in a couple of years. And that will be that hub to the spokes, the Jokic kind of point guard kind of thing.
Trey has double-digit assists in 3 of his last 4 games.
It's a beautiful thing to watch.
He's putting the streak on his back, Trey Jones.
It's fun to watch a guy finally kind of feeling himself, being told you're a bench guy for a while and watching things and you're playing with guys that really don't mesh with you. And then you get about 20 games under your belt and you start feeling it and you start knowing where guys are going to be on certain sets. You can see it. Now, there's still a lot of work to be done. It'll be on a good example tonight, but when you're now to the level, and it's sad to say after we're halfway through a season that we thought would be playoff worthy, but we are at least competitive with teams that are of our own ilk.
Well, I mean, they've won 3 games in the last, week and a half or whatever it's been. I mean, we're no longer heading, not that we ever were, but no longer heading 180 degrees south. Like relative to that emotion, you know what I mean? The turn has come. I mean, I don't know that this is not a team that wins more games, between now and the end of the regular season by a significant margin, again, relatively speaking, than they have up to this point. Does the streak make it to, it's called spring break?
What, 500?
No.
Oh, the 100? Yeah, there's no reason to think it won't. I mean, they've done this when they were awful. We've managed 20 assists when we scored 75 points.
All I'm saying is we've talked a lot about this, and the rules of streaks are you don't talk about it at all. So if it dies tonight in Philly, I mean,
no big loss.
We're way more powerful than we want to give ourselves.
I'll put it to you. I will say this. The likelihood of it falling is pretty good, but also I would say the night that it falls, we win. It'll be a night where one guy goes off. Wemby gets 40. Maybe it's a Devin, 9-3 kind of a game, and not all of them are assists. But when they don't get it, I bet it's a win, because that'll tell me somebody stepped in and dominated a game when it was required. That's why all these great teams over the last 20 years haven't done it, because there's stars that take games over.
So do you remember who you properly guessed, giving you a bit of a pass here, the streak began against? The Spurs streak.
I guessed the Mavericks, but it was the Rockets.
Yeah, it was the Rockets. That was
right.
The correct answer. The 120th game, which would tie the record, is in Houston.
Really?
Look at that. Life comes full circle.
Symmetry.
The 121st game, which again would give the Spurs if you want to call it the record, all to themselves, would come Thursday, March the 7th in Sacramento.
Eminently doable. Eminently doable. One of those ridiculous records that if you get, you're awfully proud of it. If you lose it, you go, well, my record didn't reflect the positivity of what I felt on this thing. So, by the way, goodbye.
Where does this fall for you in terms of what you're rooting for now? So like if we power ranked our priorities to what to root for during any Spurs game, it's Wemby, amazing performance. Continuing to cater to the Wemby's an all-star narrative.
It is.
Not even a narrative, just a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs win. Is it 4th for you? It's kind of 4th for me.
No, that was last year. But I think you're probably in the right field, the right part of the field than I am. Better part of the field. I think I'm in the minority here. I would like to see what we've got now. It's time to start looking for how do we win basketballs instead of how do we get better. How do we win?
Compromise the streak to win games.
Well, yes.
How dare you?
Yes, and I think now it's time to figure out not just how do we get better every night, but how do we win more games? And maybe maybe it's guys maybe not getting as many minutes and getting better. Maybe it's more about getting some guys in there to win some basketball games. So we start to understand how to do that. That would be my next goal. But when you're sitting dead last in the West and looking at a couple of lottery balls, it's hard to get past that. We'll continue talking Silver and Black as we do every day. Make sure you continue to subscribe, like, listen, and share as we do this on the regular. And if you're not watching this now, shame on you.
Absolute shame. I mean like Cersei in the Walk of Atonement shame.
There's a lot of people that just giggled. All the sparrows out there started to giggle. Coming back, Mike McCarthy is coaching on the gangplank. Is he stepping into the abyss, or is he going to be brought back on the boat? And should Dak Prescott be standing on his own plank? Is it time to re-up, or is it time to say goodbye? We're looking at the quarterback and the head coach of them Dallas Cowboys and a streak that is so embarrassing it's almost a shame to bring up. We're talking about it next. As difficult as it is, it needs to be done. This is Rob and RJ here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you'll go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Hi,
I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you. You guys chose correctly if you're of right mind, and we're glad you're watching this live. If you're not, how many subscribers did we hit our goal, DH? We did. All right. Private Ryan tells us we are moving along on the subscriber list. Now a new one is in front of us. If you're watching this live, if you're listening onto the device and you have not subscribed and you're not getting the alerts, then, kind of shame on you. But it is free, and we'd like to do it every day for you. The cost of doing business.
Notifications too.
Hmm?
Don't just subscribe. Turn on notifications. Let have your phone tell you when we start. Not just us, but the Blitz, Pledge, everybody.
When you with the Cowboys, when you're going, is it unprecedented to be going into a season with neither your head coach or your multi-million-dollar quarterback under long-term agreements at the same time? I'm sure it's happened. I mean, given the annals, but I would bet it's been a bit.
Well, you're asking this question because the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott are both currently set to enter contract years with the Dallas Cowboys. This sentence was literally true 5 years ago.
Okay.
In 2019. Now, to be fair,
and what happened
at
then?
that point? Well, they galactically disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
They were a supreme embarrassment. Their culture was questioned. Michael Bennett, who they traded for midseason, very, very, very infamously kind of ripped them a new one.
But this was under Garrett.
It was. And you prefaced that question by asking multi-million dollar. Dak was not a multi-million-dollar quarterback,
right,
at least from a contractual standpoint at that point.
Not yet.
He was in the final year of his rookie deal. Right. But they did go at 2019 with both the head coach and the quarterback in a contract year, the way they're currently slated to go at it now. Now, there were reports over the weekend. There was a report last week that McCarthy's returning. There was a press conference. McCarthy implored us to buy into them. It's just the silliest thing that I've heard anybody say in a long time. And there was a report over the weekend that despite the playoff loss, despite all of these other details, Dak is still on track, to get paid himself this offseason.
Now, there's the realist in me that says there's only so many quarterbacks in the world. Why on earth would I let this one walk out the door? I mean, that's the realist. That's the guy that says, well, we've always done it that way. How on earth would you want to do anything different? But then there is the return on investment part of me, the ROI. Like, at some point, I need a return. I'm willing to sell at a loss just to get from underneath this albatross. This is just, I see no positive future in this at all. And if I am going to right the ship, it's going to cost me so much money and take me so long. Why don't I just start now? I mean, I can't get past these two very different ideas from an owner, and an owner that is, by at least monetary measure, very intelligent. I mean, by just making money and what put button seats and does the things that are required to make the money to be Jerry. And he's made so many poor decisions that I start to think, maybe they weren't poor. Maybe that's just what he wanted. As long as the bank accounts are full, and as long as we're talking about him, and as long as the 4-letter network brings me up every other segment, that's really it. That's really all I've ever wanted when I bought this team 40 years. I've had a trophy. I've got a couple of them. I didn't feel any better a week after than I do now. And I'm richer now.
Look, the money is pouring in, although at this point it's kind of a ship that steers itself, right? I mean, I'm not denying the
true
acumen of the Jones family, but I mean, at this point, I don't know that brilliance is on display.
But that's not Pat. I mean, you don't just roll the ball out. They're still, still doing.
I agree. But I mean, we are on the. I was going to say we're on the verge. We're not on the verge. We are in. We have started to wade in. I hope you brought. What do they call the pants you put on when you go like fly fishing? You know what I'm talking about?
Waders.
Like their overalls.
Waders.
Yeah. I hope you got the waders, because we're in what will probably be the most toxic offseason we have seen from the Dallas Cowboys in a very long time. It has barely been a week since the body began to cool, right? And we've had multiple members of our family members of Dallas Cowboys players come out and destroy the team for this, that, or the other. We had, was it CeeDee Lamb's mother come out? There was like some Facebook stuff. She was questioning Dak Prescott.
That was in game.
Dak Prescott's brother.
That was like in game. Going on during.
We had Dak Prescott's brother come out, and I think his was probably the least flagrant. But talking about, his at least took on the most ownership. He said, if I could get Dak to leave Dallas, I would. Again, you could read between the lines.
Be careful of what you want there, bro.
It was just at least him putting the opinion on his own shoulders.
No, I agree. And then we had Micah's brother, who went a little bit further, right?
Well, Micah said, y'all are going to miss him when he's gone. Micah's brother outright implied that Micah would no longer be on the Cowboys at some point in the future. Did you see Micah offer the clearly written by the Dallas Cowboys PR team tweet on Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
Micah's tweets.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally read like just he like copied and pasted. Any comments made by Terrence Parsons Jr. are his and his alone. As you know, if I have something to say, I'm not afraid to say it. I love my team. My brother's on my team in the city of Dallas, and I'm more committed than ever to bring a championship to the greatest fan base on earth.
That's why I'd like to see Dak do that. Like, hey, man, sometimes my brother goes a little far, because I feel like every now and then Dak tells his brother, hey, go ahead and tweet this out. Let's see what happens.
Well, how can you not think that? You know what I mean? And so we've got 3 family members destroying the team or the fans. So, right? Like everyone's.
Well, okay. Again, so the family members, the press. I'm reading a poll on The Athletic. 64% of Cowboy fans go, dumb idea, bringing him back. And then we've got the Dak. We haven't even begun about the Dak Prescott thing. So combined, it is like the Alamo at Frisco. I mean, literally, they are outnumbered 1,000-1 as they are encircled at Frisco. And you would go, why would Jerry do this? Why would he bring this on? The easy thing would have been just fire him. Steve, go get somebody, and everybody go, you know what? Finally, he's making some sense. The old guy finally figured it out. But no.
I mean, if I'm charged with answering that question, the most likely answer is because everything's fine. Everything's copacetic. They're going to win 12 games. Why make a move? And maybe they'll get lucky and stumble their way into the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Marcus Aurelius, man. The simplest answer is normally the correct one. And if the only answer is, look how much money I got.
Well, the less likely answer, and truly the more terrifying answer, is if he's like, y'all don't get it. This guy's awesome. Like as if he truly believes this. That would be, God, dude, that is. Put that on the T-shirts and the
buy into it. We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
We've won a myriad of local neighborhood titles.
I applaud the Dallas media for not just bursting out into laughter. I mean, I would have bursted out in laughter if I'd been there in person. Y'all.
Well, again, so here we sit. And if I'm a guy who's made billions and billions and billions, and it does not matter, then why should I make it matter? Why should I make it matter if I know, as you just said, that either I'm going to win the Super Bowl and I will be the point of conversation on every topic, on every day, that Stephen A. will lead with me and close with me, that Greeny will lead with headlines and close with me, that on Sundays that Rex is going to talk about us, and on Saturdays, on Sunday nights, Collinsworth is going to talk about us, and one of my former coaches is going to be standing there talking about us. If you're going to tell me that I either get a Super Bowl win in that or an out early in the playoffs, and all I'm out is a home gate, I might save a little bit of money next year.
It's probably why they haven't fired a head coach in a very long time. They fired Wade Phillips midway through the 2010 season. But other than that, they haven't fired a head coach since Dave Campo. I mean, in the early 2000s. I mean, it's, look, we're talking about a drop in the bucket in terms of the coach's salary, the buyout you would have to pay, right? But I don't think it's the money. People say like, oh, he doesn't want to have to pay two coaches
it ain't
at the same
the money.
time. It's like, it's like if you think it's the money, you're not paying attention. They don't want to do the work,
right?
They don't want to do the work associated with like having to like, wait, you mean like we have to find dudes who like offer schematic advantages for real? Like, I don't, that sounds exhausting. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to interview people. We barely know how to work Zoom and Teams. You know what I mean? Like we're not in on this.
And I think that good, bad, or indifferent, my man Jerry's a lot of things. But he is loyal, loyal.
I don't care about that at all. He's not. This isn't loyal. This is
it's loyal.
This is arrogance. I mean, this is just. It's not. This isn't done for the benefit of Mike McCarthy. That would be loyalty. This is simply done for his own, benefit, his own goal accomplishing, his own derision. I mean, it's just.
Oh, I agree with that, but I think loyalty is part of the problem. I think he is overly loyal. I think he likes McCarthy. I think he felt like Garrett was the shiny, polished, good kid that always showed up to work crisp and ready for work. One of those yes, sir kind of guys that was always polished and ready. And McCarthy's a dude that, remember when McCarthy showed up and Skip Bayless told us, on Fridays, he and McCarthy sit down for a couple of hours, have a beer or two, and talk game plan. I don't think any coach has ever done that with Jerry. I think Jerry likes McCarthy. I think at the end of the day, like most people, you go, well, I like him. He won 12 games. I made $800 million this year. Well, I'm just making a number up, but my franchise is the most valuable in the world. I like this cat. I'm involved. He doesn't seem to bristle it when I get involved. So why change? Why on earth would I change?
I think you're still giving way too big of a benefit of the doubt, because loyalty implies some level of conscious and cognitive thought towards the ultimate goal. It does.
His ultimate goal is cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
And that's what I'm saying. But in this world, ultimate goal is like self-peace. Like to imply or to outright declare that loyalty is the priority would mean that at some point there's like a pathway. At some point there's a flow chart of decision making. Like, what should I do here? Should I fire him? No. Why not? Oh, because I like him. Because I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just simply a flowchart of like, should I fire him? Yes. Oh, that would require effort, and that would take away my ability to make more money elsewhere. No, that means I can just leave things be. I can leave the machine on at night. I don't have to touch anything. Like the mild inconvenience is when I get up in the middle of the night, the light's on and it just kind of gets in my face. No, I'm good. Like everything is rolling. I'm not going to make a decision until I have to. Right. I think the Garrett thing was overwhelming 4 years ago, and they just had to make a decision because it had been a decade. And so they were like, fine, we'll interview 2 dudes and we'll give you 1. And y'all can shut up about it, and we're just going to be here for another half decade. They have literally done the bare minimum and offered the bare minimum level of work, ethic, discipline, anything you want to offer. And they have turned anybody who supports them into a laughingstock. Every single person here in our chat, every single person who follows us on social media, we have all had to atone. We have all had to Cersei walk through the gates of whatever the fictitious name was in the show. I already forgot at this point in time. But we have all had to deal with the, results and the ramifications of their failures. Every single person we know makes fun of us because we're Cowboys fans, because we're dumb enough to sign up for this ride each and every single year. And we're the ones begging and imploring and shouting and screaming for them to do something, do anything. Show us that you have some sort of pulse with regards to caring about winning. Like, you know what, man? I know Peter King just like lambasted us in Football Morning in America, but have you seen the Star? Like, this thing looks like a spaceship. We're good. Like, we don't have to do anything. Have you guys seen the post that we're going to have that announces McCarthy leaves us a year from now? It's going to be sponsored by 14 different people.
Yes, it will.
We're good. Y'all just hang out. Y'all keep living. Just worry about that little streak the Spurs have going on and quit paying us attention.
Okay, so we look if those on high. You got Jerry sitting up on the ivory tower up there in Frisco on top of the Star, and he's got his PR crew, and they're watching the coaching carousel turn. And now we got Belichick on a second interview with Atlanta. We got it looks like Harbaugh's got a second interview with Atlanta. I feel like Buffalo assistant. There's an assistant that's out there. Slowick is moving too. Given what it looks to me like, we're even bringing back DQ. That even they're gonna have to bring him back too. I mean, by what I'm saying, ain't nobody hiring. Have I heard a second interview for Dan Quinn for anybody?
He did get one with Seattle.
He got one.
To answer the question.
He got one.
They're the homer. You know what I mean, for Dan Quinn. They're you know what I mean. Like they have the relationship. So you could argue, if anything, that is what netted him the second interview.
Do you think? What is Jerry rooting for?
What
do you think? Jerry and Steven and all those guys sitting up there.
Think they want to file the paperwork to have to terminate Dan Quinn and to have to they don't even want to send the text. Hey, Mike, go find a new DC. That is lifting the fingers too much at this point in time.
But
they're hoping they're like, guys, did you know that Dan Quinn allowed a franchise record 48 points in the playoffs? You really want to hire that cat?
I guarantee you that if he doesn't get a job, he'll get fired. I'll put it out there right now. If he doesn't get hired, they will fire Dan Quinn.
Look,
I think
I've determined what the carrot is that they're going to offer us. We thought it was a cup of blood. It's not. It's a carrot.
And it's a carrot. It's a big signing. It's a trade. It's not a firing.
The carrot was made available about 12 hours ago. All right. Stephon Diggs.
We'll tell you that and talk about what we saw. And maybe it is a guy who can't catch an over-the-shoulder pass. Maybe it is that guy. Is Buffalo more cursed than the Cowboys? Who's got it worse? We'll look around those that are going home and say who's suffered and who actually goes home winners. We're talking about the NFL championship weekend. We saw the division series. Remember, the conference championship is always brought to you by Flight by Yingling, as it'll be caught live right here on San Antonio Sports Star all weekend long. More NFL talk next. This is Rob and RJ, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the AFC, NFC championship games are set. What a weekend of football it was. We'll react to it all.
Absolutely, we will. Plus, we'll get you the latest on the Spurs after their weekend. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the scenic views stick around after the sun sets, and your favorite cocktails keep you company long after overtime. Where else can you unwind with bourbon and late-night bites? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
At the Home Depot, we have savings on laundry sets that fit your lifestyle. Like Whirlpool Laundry with a 2-in-1 removable agitator that allows you to customize any load. Simply remove the agitator to fit bulky items, or keep it in to help break down dirt and grime. And with flexible capacity, you can finish more loads in less time. Final days to get up to $450 off select laundry sets from top brands like Whirlpool. At the Home Depot, how doers get more done. Pricing valid January 4th through the 24th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car!
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
The LaTappe, Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. Run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. LaTappe, Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
Some of those old injuries, they begin to creep up and things begin to start hurting again. I finally got to the point where I'm like, I can't just wake up and know my knee's going to be bothering me and push through this on a daily basis.
Old football injuries can't keep former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter down. So he decided to check out the all-natural regenerative pain treatments at QC Kinetics.
I was fortunate enough to obviously sit down with QC and kind of understand your body still has the ability to heal in it. We just need to give it a little bit of a boost.
Exactly. QC Kinetics concentrates your body's own healing agents in your painful hips, shoulders, knees, or back.
Everyone can say, well, you need to replace this or replace that, but it's no surprise to see people being willing to try this first, especially when it has such great results.
QC Kinetics treatments take place the same day right in the office. No downtime. Call today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Robin RJ with you. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. Had to be Mikael Hardeman that would fumble the ball out of the end zone. Of all the people in the world, or at least for all the people under a Kansas City Chief contract, of course, Mikael Hardeman will throw the ball out of the end zone. Of course, that would happen. And of course, Pat Mahomes would bail him out, and they would win the football game.
The only more, of course, would have been Kadarius Toney. But yeah. You think Nicole, when he was traded for, midseason was like, guys, I'm back. Don't worry, the wide receiver problems. I'm here to fix everything. I was with the Jets and everything didn't work out, and it wasn't my fault at all. But yeah, let's ride. And then, goodness gracious.
Favorites be damned. Rank them. Who's the best team going in? It's Baltimore, right?
Yeah, Lamar is just on a different level. Like, I think that Mahomes played well on Sunday, but nobody played at Lamar's level. No quarterback has had a playoff game like Lamar, except for maybe Jordan Love against the Cowboys. But I mean, Lamar was on a different kind of fire. I can't believe you picked the Texans.
Sorry, RJ. I'm sorry. It's been a rough couple of weeks. So, top two teams: Baltimore, San Francisco. Who is the most likely to be beaten?
I think San Francisco.
You think so?
I mean, I don't.
You think Detroit might have something there?
Yeah, I think Kansas City is going to enjoy this week, but I mean, Lamar's just a different monster. I mean, Detroit. So many people are going to try to manifest Detroit. Baltimore would be kind of a boring Super Bowl, if I'm being honest.
We'll look at who the best matchups are, who the most fun are, and look back to what was one of the better weekends of division football. Not a blowout to be seen. Even the Saturday morning game. It's 24 points, but it wasn't humiliating. We'll look at what we saw, where the Texans going next, and who you like. We're talking NFL football. And them Spurs try to stack wins. Maybe they'll get one against the 76ers. It all comes to a point next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftyWindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Division championships, they are done. We're headed to the conference finals and games you can catch live right here on San Antonio Sports Star. You get the Chiefs and the Ravens at 2 o'clock on Sunday, followed up late by the Lions 49ers at 5:30. All live right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning to you. It's Rob and RJ. He is RJ Ochoa, the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, the MEB, as we call him around the radio ranch. I'm Rob Thompson, Easy E. Edwin Hafner driving this boat, and our DH is sitting across from me, actively working, digitally busy, eating a chocolate Pop-Tart.
It's the best kind.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning, RJ? Some fruit,
you know what I had.
fruit cup? A corn dog?
Yeah, it's one of those breakfast corn dogs with the sausage wrapped in
those are delicious.
In pancake waffle thing, syrup stuff.
With just a hint of syrup.
Yeah, they're exquisite. I've got some breakfast biscuit sausage things that I haven't cracked open yet, but that's probably next on the list.
I'm going to make you hungry and give you a pointer. Use your Traeger to smoke some bacon on a Saturday morning. Go lay some bacon out on your Traeger. Put about 350. You can't. It's almost impossible to overcook. Give it about 30 minutes, depending on how cold it is. It's the best bacon you'll ever eat.
I might do that.
It's a
worthy
pursuit.
What are you eating this with?
Breakfast. Breakfast.
No, but like just eggs. Like what's the overall plate?
This weekend, the problem with smoking bacon in your Traeger is it means there's a lot of grease in your Traeger. Lots of cleaning. But I do bacon every Saturday and Sunday. First thing I do, I get up in the morning, throw the bacon on like Michael J. Scott. Who doesn't love the smell of smoking bacon in the morning? So I throw it out on the Traeger, go back inside, let that go, and decide what I'm going to have for breakfast. We did pancakes on Saturday, and then yesterday I made tacos.
You even do that before you brush your teeth?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because when I get out of what gets me out of bed on Saturday is hunger. I need grease from the night before or something. After the myriad of trips to the bathroom.
Right, of course.
The Flomax kicks in, one of those. There's guys of an age all going, yeah, I know. Sucks. Feet get cold.
We footballed this weekend.
We did. Is Stephon Diggs done in Buffalo, and is he coming to the Cowboys? Is that the carrot? Is that a carrot?
That is the carrot to present. It is more likely than not, in my opinion, that we will get some sort of chatter about Trayvon and Stephon wanting to play together. They've made that known many times in the past. In fact, last year, Trayvon told me at Blogging the Boys, he said, everybody tweet, get bro to Dallas. And then Stephon responded. He was asked about this during, he did the car wash at Radio Row. Was like, dude, it's just crazy. He kind of played it down. But if you're Stephon at this point, I mean, you've pressed long enough. It kind of feels like he might want out at this point. And so at the very least, they're not going to mind connecting him to the Cowboys for obvious reasons. That's my prediction for the offseason.
I think there's going to mutual agreement to depart to part ways. I think Stephon, that drop last night is about as unforgivable as it gets. I mean,
dude,
it hits you in the hands, man. It hits you literally in the bucket right here. It hits you right here, and you did.
I am so mad that people are going to blame Tyler Bass for the missed field goal. And look, he missed a field goal. Like, obviously, you should be blamed. But
yes.
Stephon Diggs drop, bigger deal. The Sean McDermott decision to go for it with the fake punt, bigger deal. And you know what? No one is going to blame anyone for, but should absolutely blame Josh Allen for the fumble. If that fumbles are so much about luck, just like who recovers it. If Kansas City recovers that fumble, the Diggs play, the fumble, nothing even happens because Josh Allen was trying to be a hero and fumbled the ball and turned the ball over like he always does. So Josh Allen has this Teflon now built around him, like, oh, well, Stephon dropped the pass and Tyler Bass, like people are going to remember those way more than the fumble that their own team recovered.
Okay, and I want you to put aside your silver and blueness.
Oh, that's
zip
I'll
up,
put
hide
that
it.
in a drawer and I've
put
locked
that up.
it up. I'm not
put it
bringing
up,
that out
hide
for a
it.
while.
Who's got it worse today? Buffalo or the Cowboys? I mean, who has the right to
Rob,
feel worse?
I think you're asking Bills fans or Cowboys fans. Rob, imagine that you went and shoveled snow.
I know.
Like you went and shoveled snow for this team to just lose. I mean, Bills fans absolutely have it worse. Like at least if you're a Cowboys fan, you can say like, oh well, we were really good a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, and I can pretend like we're good and people care about us one way or another. Does anybody really care about Buffalo? No. Like people think you're cool and you're a cute story when you're flying through tables and whatever, and people are shoveling snow for $20. But I mean, like nobody really cares in the grand scheme of things. I mean, like it's and the Cowboys have a couple of owners. We talked about this. The Packers and Niners have joint custody over the Cowboys. Dude, they are 0-3 against Patty Mahomes in the playoffs. That has to be the most annoying thing in the world if you are a Bills fan.
Do you think this morning when Scott Norwood woke up or is waking up, I wonder how many calls he's getting from national presser types for an interview?
Oh, dude, Scott is like, screw you, Tyler Bass. Like, you couldn't have pushed it left. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, Scott's like, what did I do to anybody today? I mean, why am I being brought up? Like, he's catching strays for this for no reason whatsoever. Different question. Of the 4 losers over the weekend, Texans, Packers, Buccaneers, Bills, who were the biggest frauds?
Oh man, that's a good one. I don't think there was a fraud. I really don't. I would have said no. I would have laid one. No, I was ready to pick Tampa. I was ready to go Tampa. Man, you fell ass backwards into this. I really did. Or I was ready to lay it at Green Bay. Hey, Green Bay, it was the Cowboys. Congratulations, you beat the Cowboys. Of course you beat them. I was looking for both of those to be the fraud. I didn't know which one would be more likely. I really thought it was going to be Tampa. Both of the frauds lost. Both the teams that I thought were probably playing at least equal to their depth, if not above it, were probably in trouble. But the way that Baker was valiant in defeat, how many yards he threw for yesterday? It was 300 plus. I mean, he played well.
I think you're letting a team a little bit off the hook too easily here, Rob.
You talking about the Texans? I'm not going to I'm not. I don't think so.
Why? Dude, they didn't have a single offensive touchdown. I mean, like, to be very clear, I love the Texans and I'm very high on their future, and I even picked them to win this game. But, like, you talked about it. You said you went into this weekend looking for reasons to kind of expose or fraudulent out the Packers or the Bucs, and they both made you look like a fool. The Texans, who we believed in, I mean, not a single offensive touchdown. Oh, yeah, we're a package deal. You know what I'm saying? So it was a we thing. So, I mean, the fact that you could not score a single offensive touchdown, that's some fraudulence there. I mean, and it's okay to be a fraud. It's not the worst thing, but
I understood what the Texans were dealing with, man. It's still a rookie quarterback going against Baltimore and that crappy state. No, I told you, I picked Baltimore. I mean, this was a
we said he was Jason Tatum. We said he was the best rookie, having the best rookie quarterback.
And Tatum has lost too. Tatum has lost in the finals.
Tatum didn't show up in like no show offensively. I mean, CJ Stroud was a no-show offensively. That doesn't mean that he's bad. It doesn't mean that they're trash. It doesn't mean that they are perennial frauds, but they had the biggest fraud performance of the weekend. They were the only team who got smoked I mean,
They
like
did.
absolutely smoked.
But did you expect? I know you picked them, and I know that but seriously, I mean, the Texans have lived by the seat of their pants all season long. A razor blade width away from tragedy and destruction. It seems like every third down. I mean, they're always one hair away. So when it went
we're walking this
south,
back too much because again, before the game, it was like that's made them battle tested. That makes they're comfortable in the chaos. They were not comfortable at all in the chaos. They got pushed around. They got bullied. Again, their only touchdown was a massive punt return. Do you know that was the first punt return for a touchdown in the playoffs in 11 years?
What was the last one to do it? I'm sure they told us. Was it like Devin Hester or who was the last one to return a kick like that? Because it had been a long time since I'd seen it.
It was Trendon Holiday who did it. Trendon Holiday, who incidentally did it against the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
And the Ravens would win the game and in the divisional round and go on to win the Super Bowl. So kind of bodes well.
We were all rooting for the Texans. And for my personally, it was because I wanted pleasure. I wanted pleasure to have him a weekend. I did. I mean, Pleasure's a long-suffering Texans fan, and this is for all you Texan fans. Listen to me. You're talking about long-suffering. You guys should be taking care of me. But
what do you mean long-suffering? They've been in the divisional round 5 times. They've only existed for like 20 years.
I know.
What do you mean long-suffering?
Well, I mean,
that's
even
pretty. I think a lot of franchises would trade lives with the Texans.
Probably. Maybe we should.
Oh, I mean, I really would right now, but yeah, they were the biggest frauds. I mean, there's no, and you know what? I wouldn't say a very distant second to properly quote Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman would be Jordan Love. Dude, the final throw. What?
Yeah, that was
like what are you doing? Like throwing all the way across. And you know what? Big fraud alert might be Brock Purdy. I mean, I think he's a fine quarterback, but like that, he had one great drive and where he did a little bit of work, but like he was a pretty big fraud the entire game. The Niners just kind of carried.
I think Debo going out hurt, but Purdy is not surprising. That's exactly who Brock Purdy is. That's Kyle Shanahan has always acted like he wanted something else other than that. I mean, he had other stuff. He hated Garoppolo because Garoppolo was a robot. Well, he went and got another robot. I mean, it's the same thing. He's the same thing. So I don't care about what Shanahan wanted or needed. He wants a guy to be that.
By the way, dude, Kyle Shanahan is such a coward. The end of that first half, I mean, like he is so afraid of, oh man, I might leave enough time for them to go kick a field goal at the very end. So like we gotta play and like bleed all this. Go score a touchdown. Just score the touchdown and trust your amazing defense. Like what? He almost bungled that game, which is why it's kind of like. Obviously, you know, it's Monday, but like I could totally see the Lions upsetting them because Dan Campbell is like, I'm not here to play safe. I'm not here to play scared at all. I'm here to just come in and rummage this place. Whereas Kyle Shanahan is going to be so turtley the way he was against Green Bay. I mean, they were probably the least deserving winners of the weekend.
I think we can all agree that if we're going talent for talent, if we really wanted the behemoths, it would be San Francisco, Baltimore. That's if you're looking at the Super Bowl, those that have earned it and been there and done it all season long, that's it. But is that the best game? What's the game you would prefer if not that?
I think I would like Lions Ravens. I mean, it'd be. I know I said a little while ago that it would be kind of boring, but it would be kind of cool, and we would get Harbaugh out. I mean, my goodness gracious, like the Michigan element, obviously the obvious Harbaugh element. At this point, I'm kind of rooting for Jared Goff because I'm kind of rooting for this whole thing to just like take off into a different stratosphere in and of itself. I mean, why not? You know, why not Detroit? I definitely. It's nothing against Kansas City. Like I'm not a Chiefs hater or anything. I've just seen it a million times. I'm just done with it. Like, so Baltimore against anybody is at least interesting. And if Kansas City's out, we get a new champion for the first time. Baltimore hasn't won it since 2012. San Francisco hasn't won it since 94. The Lions obviously have never won it.
I was hoping coming into the weekend, a Detroit-Buffalo final would have been awfully cool just to have all the nutso types running the streets of Vegas, where we will be, by the way. But I think I'm going to stick with best game is the best game. I want to see San Francisco, Baltimore. I want two enter, one leave kind of thing. You know, very rarely are we blessed with the caller that's been on hold. And it doesn't happen enough. Because I think he's one of the best callers in all of San Antonio. I'm setting him up. It's been a while since we've heard of him. If you want to talk like this guy can, get on the phone, 656-3776. I'm glad he remembered the number. Marion, welcome on, man. It's been a long time. How you been?
Thanks. Good, Rob. Thanks. You know, I usually call about basketball, but I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I grew up in that area, so I was very happy with the effort. But I have to disagree with RJ about the Texans. Baltimore has been the best team all year. They've beaten everybody by 3 touchdowns, and you knew it was a matter of time. So when you use the word fraud, that to me, you mean fraudulent and fake. And you can try to couch it as, oh, I don't mean that. But the Texans weren't in the fake. They have a bright future. I just think they ran into a buzzsaw. And when you run into a buzzsaw, and everybody, they've beaten everybody down. And that's how it's going to be this year so far. So I disagree with the Texans being a fraud.
The question was who was the most fraudulent. So
Yeah.
I don't know that there was a fraud, but if anyone, the closest to defining that was definitely Houston. And I mean, look, I agree their future's bright, but this isn't a question about their future. This is just a question about how they fared over the weekend. And you can't even score a single offensive touchdown. That's, again, in the neighborhood of fraudulent behavior.
And I wonder how much of this, and obviously they'll never cop to it or anything like that, but Slowick being a name mentioned in that offense did not look like they ever found their footing. Like they were one step off all day long. And it's a credit to CJ to just be in the game, even though, like you said, no offensive touchdowns until they kind of got away from him. Were you surprised at how well Aaron Jones ran against the 49ers? I was.
I feel like every few years there's a running back that kind of pops up or re-pops up, and we're like, this dude might be the best in the NFL. And Aaron Jones is kind of that dude. Had a kind of a quiet little, year and a half, and all of a sudden it's like, this dude kicks ass. Like, I mean, where's this dude been? What? Not Derrick Henry, but I'm not surprised at all. I get pre-annoyed a lot. Obviously, I'm pre-annoyed at Aaron Jones on the New York Jets.
You know who should be the most upset man in all the world today? And he has some time. He has a week, a little bit under. Ursher.
Give me a clue.
Ursher.
Usher?
Ursher. Oh, no, it's Ursher to those that have been around. Yeah, Usher going to do halftime.
Right.
If Kansas City comes, he will be the second most talked about artist in Vegas.
Well, I mean, and Pledge's comment is up on the chat. If the Lions win, Eminem's coming to town. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's at least more of a debate or more of a battle. We should actually have a battle. But you're right. I mean, like, no, everyone is second fiddle to Taylor Swift, obviously. And you're right. Like, you're so right. Like, if the Chiefs are in it, people will be like, Taylor should play one song at halftime.
The Twitter sphere, as soon as Usher comes on, what does Taylor think about Usher? Are we going to see her? If he's smart,
cover an Usher song.
If he's smart, he will put her on stage. If he's a smart man, wants to ride that comet. Usher's 20 years old, man.
Okay, but so what if you're Usher and you are like, okay, let's strategize. Let's put Taylor on stage, whatever, and it's Chiefs Niners, and the Niners are up at halftime like 23-3. Like
makes it even better.
Like,
I want to see Taylor break down in tears mid-song.
Yeah.
Or write a song about her losing boyfriend.
Eminem is obviously the most famous Lions fan that's kind of going right now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get E in there. That's
who?
E, Eminem, Marshall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they're different labels, right? Usher and they don't have.
I'm just saying. I feel like you're kind of
do they?
You don't have the same level of enthusiasm at an idea of Eminem being involved in the halftime.
Well, no one wants to see Taylor Swift and Eminem on the stage together. He might say something to make her cry. Because I saw this special not long ago that every rapper is afraid to make Eminem mad. Nobody wants to say anything about Marshall Mathers. Nobody wants to say it because he will rip you a new one.
I mean, dude, yeah. Why would you poke that bear?
That's what I'm saying. But
this is a really interesting dynamic to what is happening with Usher. He's probably like, man, I really hope the Ravens win. Like, the Ravens really need to help me out here.
Jerry Jones. That's funny. You just say the name and everybody goes, oh, here we go. This one I'll give you make you feel good. Has the longest ownership drought in the NFC relative to conference championships. Just let that
championship game appearances.
Yeah. Let that wash over you. That now that Detroit is going, that there's
Dan
no
Snyder
team.
no longer owns the Washington franchise.
And Washington, now Snyder is gone. Nobody has waited longer. Nobody has been more frustrating. Nobody has stubbed their toe more than Jerry Jones. And how does he react to this? Well, we're going to talk about that coming up because he's got some decisions to make if he wants to. But will he? We'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Look back at the weekend. What are the Texans headed toward as they head into the offseason? Of course, the Spurs, they might be able to stack 2 wins, though the odds are against us. Are we going to see a 7-4 Wemby and a 7-1 Joel Embiid match up at the 3-point line? I bet we will, and we're going to talk about that coming up. But next, let's talk about Jerry, what he's going to do, how he's going to get past this hump. This is it. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Roop, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website, alawyerforus.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do. Help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community when and where you can. As my father told me a long time ago, insurance companies are not trying to get to heaven. They're trying to make a profit. You cannot blame a lion for being a lion. Hire a hunter to help you. That's me. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. With the NBA season in full swing, you want in on the action? Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, which is a ton of fun to play. It is fantasy, but you can win real cash money, and it is legal in Texas. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select whether they will be higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It certainly makes watching our local basketball team or your favorite players a lot more interesting. Underdog is super easy to play and get started. Download the easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than half a total yard to use on your first pick of entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rob and RJ with you. I'm stuck doom scrolling when I hear this.
Can you glide?
Oh, I glide. He is the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson, the glider, trying to land this airplane here in the rain. Welcome aboard, R&R, here on a damp Monday morning. It's all over but the crying as far as the division week and our conference championships coming up this week. And, of course, you can catch all those games live right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Flight by Yingling playing a vital role in making sure you can hear what you need to hear. I got some tickets to give away. His name is Willie Barcena. He's a comedian of great repute. This is what it says about him, RJ. He's raucous, irreverent, not irrelevant. He is very relevant right now. And never politically correct. Willie Barcena is one of the sharpest minds in comedy, and we want a needle-nosed comedy guy. Nothing's safe. Family, religion, sex, politics, whatever. You'll make fun of it all. He's that kind of comedian. And I've got a couple of tickets. It's a Live Nation joint. If you want to buy them, if you don't win them here in 15 minutes, it's when I'm giving them away. We're going to come back from break, and I'm giving them to you just on the other side of the break.
You promise?
That is a promise. Cross my heart and hope to die. And go to our website as we speak right now. Go to sasportstar.com. We've got $2,024 just burning a hole in our pockets. We'd like to give it to you, but for you to get it, you're going to have to go to sasportstar.com and get entered for the contest. That's this kind of de rigueur.
Okay, 2024.
There you go. So
Good number.
Jerry goes into the offseason the same way he's gone into the offseason for 30 some odd years. He is now the last of a breed. As Detroit has gone to the conference finals for the first time in, 100 years, when they were in leather helmets. Jerry is now the longest standing owner in the NFC without a conference, not a super conference championship appearance. How long?
Yeah.
30, 27, 28 years?
28 now. Yeah. So the longest NFC championship game appearance drought. By the way, and you can miss me with this if you're in my Twitter mentions like, oh, I didn't know we were measuring legacies on appearances now. No, but you have to get there in order to like do the things that your legacies are measured off of. So like, again, it's representative of like the overall failure. Anyway, so the Commanders, the Washington franchise hasn't been there since 1991. They obviously won the Super Bowl that year. The Dallas Cowboys have the second longest streak, but again, Dan Snyder's no longer there, which is why Jerry Jones is, to your point, the longest standing owner. 1995. The next longest. You would think like, oh, well, Washington's 91, Dallas 95. Someone must be like around like 97, 99. No, wrong. This century, well into the century, last longest, the third longest, the Chicago Bears in 2010 when Barack Obama said that he would go to the Super Bowl if they won it. And Charles Woodson had one of the coolest lines I've ever heard anybody say in the postgame locker room and said, if the president won't come see us, we'll go see him. That was one of the sickest lines anybody ever said. Anyway, not only that, Rob, so Detroit is now there for the first time since 1991. Okay, so, it's only been one time. What big losers the Lions are now. Commanders haven't been there. Cowboys haven't been there. Everybody else, the other 13 teams in the NFC have all been there multiple times.
Yes.
Have all been to multiple title games. That includes the Carolina Panthers, who were literally an expansion franchise in 1995 when the Cowboys last went. That includes the lowly Arizona Cardinals. That includes the pathetic Chicago Bears. That includes the moribund Atlanta Falcons. That includes the depressing Minnesota Vikings. That includes the can't believe how lucky they are New York Giants. That includes the just absolutely dysfunctional Tampa Bay Buccaneers who have won 2 Super Bowls.
You're killing me.
It's so stupid and frustrating.
Okay, so when you say that and we put it in those terms, there's two ways to look at this. One, Jerry is the Wizard of Oz. This guy, don't look behind the curtain. Just watch the performance. I mean, it's truly magnificent. It really is. Because Detroit is so, as I called the comedian, irrelevant most of the time, that the Cowboys remain relevant. So as we go to break, I ask you this question. Is Jerry a good owner? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. How do you quantify ownership? Is he a good owner? Because right now, they are literally the worst in the NFC. There's been nobody as bad as long as the Cowboys. Is he a good owner? 656-3776, 656-ESPN. We'll be right back here on R&R. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the AFC, NFC championship games are set. What a weekend of football it was. We'll react to it all.
Absolutely, we will. Plus, we'll get you the latest on the Spurs after their weekend. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there, here buck, there buck, everywhere buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
It is time to play Pass the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold-flavored, protein-packed Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting roles for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fail fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you. He's RJ Ochoa. Just look at him. And if you're not looking at him, go to YouTube. SA Sports Star. That's who we are. This is R&R. Go find him. Just look at him. And then subscribe because it's a lovely site.
What's the last YouTube video you watched?
The last YouTube video I watched would be this morning. A synopsis of the NFL touchdown passes last night or yesterday afternoon.
I was hoping it'd be something a little bit more interesting.
Well, that's, I use YouTube as a tool, not as an entertainment piece. There are certain things that, it's like the Cliff's Notes of things. I asked the question as we went out. RJ, I did not get your answer. My question is, on the grandest scheme, given that now the Cowboys are the longest standing non-NFC championship game participant, at least Jerry is as the owner, as the Commanders have new ownership. They haven't had to wait as long, but it's been a bit for them too. Is he a good owner? 656-377-6656 ESPN. We see you guys racking it up. RJ, thoughts?
In a literal sense, the Cowboys have won a lot of regular season games in his tenure. They have had several Ring of Honor players. They've had, in his tenure, exclusively, void of Jimmy Johnson, a handful of Hall of Fame players, obviously, Larry Allen, DeMarcus Ware, Jason Witten will be on that list someday. If you're rating ownership qualities, they've made a bunch of money, not just for themselves, but he got an NFL franchise back in Los Angeles. They've obviously turned into, their own thing. I mean, he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But I think he's a wonderful owner. He's a horrible general manager. I think that you have to distinguish those two things. So I don't mean
I don't think we can separate them now. We have to it's all of it. Is he, as he's been, a good owner? And part of being a good owner would be maybe hiring a better general manager, and he hadn't. So that's that might be something against him. I mean,
that's a fair point. I would say he's average at best right now.
An average owner who makes a lot of money. I asked the question, is he a good owner as we sit yet again heading into the abyss of an off season, this time without a coach with a long-term future and a quarterback who's got questions as well? What do you think? Let's hit the phones. Jonathan dialed fastest, so he is on. Is Jerry a good owner, Jonathan?
Well, see, the thing is, you guys took the words right out of my mouth. Jerry Jones makes a lot of money. I think Cowboys are the number one.
They're the most valuable sports franchise in the
most
world.
valuable in the world. I mean, but the thing is, he doesn't know the difference between a good owner and a good manager. I mean, he's got to kind of just admit to himself that he can't do this all by himself, no matter how much he tells himself that.
Jonathan, you hit it on the head. It is the admit to yourself, despite the vast financial success that you have enjoyed, that despite all of this, the building of the Star, the stadium, everything that goes along with Dallas Cowboys, he has to look in the mirror and go, despite all this, I'm not good enough.
I mean, that's where the arrogance comes into play, right? Like, this is Sinatra style, baby, my way. You know what I mean?
Way.
Like it can only be done this way, and that's so stupid. I mean, people usually say things like, "Oh, well, they'll change when they hit rock bottom." Bro, we sleep on gravel every night. You know what I mean? Like, this is just,
hard gravel too, that spiky kind.
Yeah, like, we're here, like, we're living it. But yeah, we have some cool hoodies and caps. You know what I mean? Like, and cool
we see you
things
on
for our
that.
office.
We see you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to get to you. The question is he a good owner? And my answer is absolutely he is.
Oh,
absolutely
Robert.
He is.
Oh, Robert.
Because, I mean, there's winning. And I know that winning, I learned
that's
this.
all there is. There's nothing else.
No, you're right. And I learned there's winning and then there's winning. And winning,
What?
the win,
Are you
the,
talking
the
like Charlie Sheen
capital
stuff or like
the all caps dark key on the bottom left, winning takes dudes. It takes Brady. It takes dudes. It takes Aikman. It takes
I don't
Irvin.
think that's just I disagree with that.
No matter what you do, no matter what you put together, no matter the franchise, the money you pour into it, if you don't have the dudes, you ain't winning. You're not.
Who is the dude on the Detroit Lions?
They're not going to win it.
But who is the dude?
They don't have one, and they're not going to win it.
I know
don't got
not,
a dude.
but they're closer. Okay, they're closer.
Yes.
So who is the dude?
Right now, if they win it, their dude will be their quarterback, Jared Goff. He will be the guy who will get the credit.
Do you know where the Detroit Lions rank in terms of NFL franchises and value?
And value, they got to be in the bottom 10.
They are number 31.
Wow, next to last.
In a league with
who's
32.
worse? Cincinnati? They're worse, right? Cincinnati?
I didn't look.
Probably the Bengals.
Yeah, probably that's a great guess. But but even then, they went to a Super Bowl too. They've been to multiple AFC title games in the Joe. And to your point about Cincinnati, they have a dude, right? Like that.
Yeah.
But my point is the Lions are proof that you don't need a dude. I mean, you don't.
Well,
you just need people who will work hard. You need people who only care about that. You need people who don't have their time, devoted to all sorts of other things. Like you mentioned, is he a good owner? He's on the radio 2 different times a week. I mean, I'm grateful for it, but I mean, it's
as a fan, I think he's a phenomenal owner. I think he is accountable to the extent he's in front of the camera.
Accountable
to the extent he's in front of the camera. Accountable that he is willing to be a freaking target. Because let me tell you, the decision he made a week ago Tuesday was the dumbest thing I've ever seen an owner do. And literally, of all the owners I've ever seen, this is about as dumb as it gets. And here we sit.
I think you're giving him way too much credit for that. I remember when the Kawhi stuff went down, I remember tweeting with Peter Burns, and he was like, look, you can't look at the money he's giving up in San Antonio the way that you and I would look at that much money, right? Like that was a great point from Peter at the time.
True that.
And so to that point, you can't look at accountability the same way, for him. This dude takes, mud is slung at him all the time. You know what I'm saying? So taking accountability or falling on the sword, even if that's what you think he did, isn't this noble act the way it would be if you or I did it? You know what I mean? The terms and context are so much different. So I don't believe there's any accountability. If there was accountability involved, he would have fired McCarthy. He'd be doing something. He'd be offering some sort of solution instead of just the fact that he's so willing to run it back is completely void of accountability. It's complete cowardice.
No, he's accountable in that he's willing to take an arrow, man. He's willing to step out there I'm keeping him. You got a problem with that? Go. And we have gone for a week. Back to the phones. James, is Jerry a good owner?
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. RJ, appreciate you, man. You got great Cowboy knowledge. But
thanks, James.
I got two things here. A couple of Fridays ago, RJ, you said that Cowboy fans would be upset if we just made it to the conference championship. Hey, man, I've been trying to get to the conference championship for the past 4 or 5 years. Rudy could verify that when he was at the other place. That's all I asked for.
Is that Cowboy fan? Are you a Cowboy fan?
Am I a Cowboy fan? That's all I know. I didn't know we had
you
other
said 4 or
teams.
5 years. I would have said 20 years. I mean, it's been longer than that.
Well, it's been longer than that, but since we had this, Dak and Zeke and all of that, where it looks like we had possibility, the last 4 to 5 years.
Is he a good owner?
Is he a good owner? Yes, he is a good owner. I think he's a good general manager. The only thing that I don't think is he doesn't have, the coach. It's the coach. We need a coach that is going to hold the players accountable and doesn't care about the name on the back of the jersey.
James, you hit it on the head. You just hit. I've been waiting for somebody to bring it. James, stay safe, brother. We appreciate the call. Accountability. We just talked about it again, but this time in a different term. The accountability, not just for Jerry owns the place. I'm accountable to nobody. But
That's
underneath,
what I'm saying.
no
I can't
one.
believe you're giving this
No,
dude
what
any
I
credit for
used the wrong
accountability.
term. I used the wrong term. He has never run from controversy. He's always been. I cannot believe he fired him last or kept him last
Because
Tuesday.
controversy benefits him.
Yes,
That's why. Like,
exactly.
why would he run from it?
So at the very least, he's
That's
out
not
there.
an admirable quality. It's not. It's not nobility. It's selfishness.
He took a lot. I mean, McCarthy's kind of sitting pretty here. McCarthy, we're just talking about him.
What?
We're just talking about him secondarily. When you bring up the Cowboys, the first part of the conversation is Jerry's an idiot. And then he's keeping McCarthy around. But he's an idiot because he was an idiot before McCarthy. He was an idiot with Garrett. He was an idiot with Parcells. He was an idiot with Phillips. He was an idiot with who about Gailey? I mean, we could keep going with the idiots. I mean, there have been idiocy long before McCarthy got here.
Look, I agree with you that maybe Jerry is the cover of the book for the dysfunction and the embarrassment and whatever. But I don't think being the puppet for the embarrassment that McCarthy is, and I hate using that term, but
it's a term.
It is like sitting pretty. I mean, because to your point, Peter King this morning on Football Morning in America, went at Jerry Jones and called him. I actually disagreed with this the more I thought about this. Called him shockingly passive for 20 years. He hasn't been passive for 28 years. They've been passive for about 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in terms of
when did that passivity begin? Was it after the Cooper trade? It was the Brandon Carr deal in 2012.
Yep. Because he didn't turn into prime Deion Sanders. They thought it was the worst money they'd ever spent. So they haven't spent big in free agency ever since. But my point is
wow.
So the point of the article kind of comes at Jerry for being passive, but it's using Mike McCarthy as this dunce. You know what I mean? You're such a loser because you're keeping this guy around. Being this guy is still not a good spot to be. It's still not you know what I mean? Imagine if somebody's they're not coming at you, Rob, but they're like, can you believe this person's with Rob? You're just like, I'm Rob. Still here. I have ears. So I don't think McCarthy is sitting pretty.
You're right. In the order of hatred, Jerry is on top. I mean, if Cowboy fan could say, if there's one thing I could fix, would it be fire McCarthy or get Jerry out of the GM office? What would if you could pick one, you get rid of McCarthy that's my
Jerry
point.
Out the GM. Jerry is Palpatine. All right. McCarthy's just Vader. All right. That's where we're at here. I mean, and there are a lot of other, people, involved. Maybe Will McClay is Ahsoka, trained by, whatever, but still, a good person.
Ahsoka's smoking hot. There is that.
But I mean, the idea that he's a good owner, the idea that he's taken a shred of accountability. I mean, he has all these fall guys in place. We're over here, lamenting. We're over here pissed off that McCarthy is coming around. Who made that decision? There are a lot of people that are pissed off that Dak is going to get an extension. Who's going to be the one who authorizes that? And who's the person who painted the team into the situation they're in right now that they have to give him the extension? It's the brilliant. We sit here and we're like, he's such a cunning businessman. They bottled this. They bottled this so badly with Dak. I mean, even if you believe in Dak like I do, they are screwed. And they're screwed because their great business acumen couldn't have the foresight to envision this situation that we're in right now.
That takes us, and your calls are important to us. Keep them on there. Is he a good owner? I owe you a break, and I want to come back with this. Will be proving a good owner, proving himself. We got some more minutes. So I want to ask this question: if he's a good owner, would a good owner let Dak go? Would a good owner sit in his office today and go, I'm not paying you $1 more until you win something for me?
No, because it would cripple the current team. I mean,
what's wrong with crippling it? Maybe we should shoot this lame horse. Maybe it's time to shoot the horse. Let's do what Peter King said. Shake them by the scruff of their neck and do it.
But then we all have to sit here and live this out again. The drought lives.
Well, it would have been either this year or next. Would you prefer this year? Fire McCarthy and wave goodbye to Dak? Okay.
We've been here together for a week now. We've been saying this was dumb. Like, you're going at this and you're establishing how weak this is. The expression is lame duck for a reason. It's not a cool duck. There are so many cool ducks. Daffy, Donald, the ones in all the songs that my son likes to watch.
Huey,
Those
Dewey,
are
and Louie.
cool. Huey and Louie are great, and Dewey, of course. But I mean, they're all cool, badass ducks. This is a lame duck. You do not want to be the lame duck. All right. What's the female duck in Disney universe?
What is Daffy's girlfriend? Daisy?
No, Donald. Daisy.
Donald,
Daisy. Daisy isn't eyeing the lame duck. Daisy is after Donald and the other ducks, the cool ones who are swimming and look awesome.
What is it?
diving in.
Okay, I know we're upset, but don't we love players in contract years? Don't we love that? Don't we look forward to the year that a player's in a contract year because he's going to play his ass off for 16 games and show me what he's worth, and then he'll take a nap next year. But right now, he's going to bring it. Maybe that's the fire that Jerry's trying to light.
A contract year is the dumbest thing that anyone ever convinces themselves is a good thing. All right, because these are your two results. Either the player is amazing, and then you have to
pay through
pay
the nose.
Even more.
The Dak syndrome.
Or the player sucks, which means you suck. Why would either of these things be, ideal? It's so ridiculous. Like, that anyone thinks this is a good idea. But he's a great owner, Rob. You tell us about that accountability, those arrows he's standing in
We
front
have
of
had how many callers, RJ, and no one has said he's a bad owner. Is he a good owner?
I did. I mean,
you
somebody
have
agree with
said
me,
he's
please.
not. Let's go back to the phones. I'm looking at him. Claymore, welcome on to R&R. Is he a good owner?
No, so two things can be true. Jerry, from a business perspective, is a good owner. From a football perspective, he's not. I'm gonna give you two quick things, Rob. So when you're talking about accountability, part of me, maybe that's just the old soldier in me. If we set a standard, if we set a standard and you're supposed to be held to a certain standard or certain objectives, if you don't, it's not accountability if we're not going to correct the course of action, if we're not taking measures to correct those things, right? Nobody who's got a resume as a GM like Jerry Jones has would still continue to keep his job. And the last thing I just want to say is I can't believe we went through almost a decade of Jason Garrett, and then nobody, right? And then nobody could have seen what the last game that the Cowboys played, and then for McCarthy to be the head coach and then to come back from that. The Cowboys have got talent. They just need a coach who can get them over the hump, a leader of men. And I believe McCarthy ain't it. Jerry's in a position to make that decision, and he didn't. So indictment on Jerry, he's not a good GM.
There we
Thank
go.
you guys. I'll hang up and listen.
There you go, Claymore. We have an agreement with RJ because accountability. But he is accountable to no one. He's accountable to
So accountability doesn't exist for him. Like, he's not in a place where accountability is a thing for him.
No,
You know what
he
I'm saying?
hasn't been accountable to anybody in 40 years. He has been
That's what I'm
the
saying.
man.
Like, the idea that he would be accountable is hilarious to me. Also, shout out to Rudy, who noted Howard the Duck was one of the Ducks.
Oh, Howard with Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
I think that's we've hit on the major Ducks. There are also the
no more
Mighty
Ducks.
Ducks.
The
Well,
who?
the Mighty Ducks. The Mighty.
Oh, with Emilio.
They're a team. I mean, they're pretty great in their own right. They're not lame at all. I mean, gosh, dude, like, I'm still,
I'm curious as we head into break here. As the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, you guys have a different in your circle or kind of plugged in. For those that are on the beat, for those that are kind of in the room, I mean, certainly it's the gift that keeps on giving, and you love, to be in the meteor shower that is the Cowboys. What's the thought there? Is it the same kind of frustration? Is there anybody behind the scenes going, well, this is why, and this is how, and why kind of stuff?
I think selfishly everybody is, because I think selfishly everybody's like, can you imagine the work that we could do, the things we could accomplish if you just like made the NFC title game? Like, imagine the exposure people would have, again, in their own careers,
right,
if the Cowboys even just made the Super Bowl the week leading up to it, especially if they won it. I mean, but so, like, we just have to sing the same songs. This is like Christmas. You know what I mean? We sing the same 16 songs over and over again. It's like, we'll just add a number. You know what I mean? It's just like, we'll change the quarterback. We'll just change it's just it's a monster in and of itself, and it's going to take an incredibly special set of circumstances for it to like all dissipate.
Do you think it's possible for them to find their way to a championship game, at least a conference championship game, and then some? Given the current structure of the team, the talent there, will Dak ever see it? Will anybody there see a title game? Is it possible?
I mean, the reality of the situation, Rob, is you look at, like, you can only compare them to the Commanders now in terms of NFC title game appearance droughts. And, like, at the very least, the Commanders have been completely moribund from a football standpoint. I mean, that obviously goes well beyond that. But, like, you don't look at them and like, oh, well, you were really close here. You know, you had this, you had that. Like, yeah, they drafted some nice players and things like that. But, like, for the most part, it's just been the same for, 35 years or whatever at this point. Whereas the Cowboys have actually been good enough. The Cowboys have actually had all these great talents. The Cowboys have actually been extraordinarily lucky. I mean, consider that there are two franchise quarterbacks who they've had in this whole time. One was an undrafted free agent, and the other was a 4th-round pick who was like their 4th choice in that particular offseason. I mean, like, fate has smiled upon them. They have just peed into the wind of it all. And so, like, it's weird in that they've been so good in some of the most important ways, like 8 out of the 10 most important categories. But the 2 most important, they flounder and fail in the most spectacular ways possible. It is the most diametrically opposing set of forces existing in one overall stew that we have to sit in our own filth every single year. It's impossible to be this good in the least important ways while also being this bad in the most important ways. Yet somehow, some way, to your point about Jerry being Oz or being a wizard or being Alphaba or whichever kind of witch you want to offer, they have found a way to straddle that line and be that perfectly chaotic.
Not needing a moment of clarity in the addiction recovery, they talk about that moment of clarity when you realize it's time to change. And Jerry's never been forced to that moment of clarity because the money keeps coming, the attention keeps coming. Nothing has changed. Yeah,
It's a water hose. It's a fire hydrant I mean, dude, they played. Do you know that the Texans played 2 games this season that were not in the noon hour all season long?
Why change?
I'm sorry, 3 games. 3 games.
We're going to talk about it. That moment of clarity isn't coming anytime soon. Why change when you own the most profitable franchise in the world? If you look at the top 100 broadcasts of the NFL, 80% of them are Cowboy games. Why would he change? We'll continue talking about it. He's RJ. I'm Rob. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Talk.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown!
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Do you ever feel hot spots or cold drafts around your home while watching your favorite team play? Your windows may be to blame. Call Maverick Windows today at 800-972-3631 and sign up for a free quote and get back in the end zone. That's 800-972-3631.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing.
Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You can make the decision right now to get lasting relief from that awful joint pain for 2024. Don't go another year compromising because of that pain in your knees, shoulder. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative non-surgical pain relief. Your body has what it needs to restore and repair that damaged joint tissue, and QC Kinetics can make it happen. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The future of pain treatments has arrived, and QC Kinetics has tens and thousands of satisfied patients all over America. People with back pain, hip pain, any pain associated with arthritis or an injury. This is not a Band-Aid. This is a revolutionary treatment that can get you moving again, get you your life back. And best of all, it's non-surgical. If this is your year to decide to fight back against that pain, take the first step now and call QC Kinetics to get a free consultation on the calendar today. Call 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Transforming your health isn't easy, but at the Y, you'll find friendly staff and neighbors ready to support you and cheer you on every step of the way. Find your motivation and join today. Learn more at ymcasatx.org. Find your Y this year at YMCA San Antonio. Happy New Year.
They're local, they're San Antonio, and they know sports. They're R&R in the morning, KTFM Floresville, and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Conference championship games are set, but the sporting world continues to spin. The Texas Longhorns upset number 9 Baylor 75-73 over the weekend. Return to action tomorrow against OU. The Aggies beat LSU, and 25th ranked Texas Tech beat the 20th ranked BYU Cougars 85-78. This is San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. It's Rob and RJ on a damp Monday morning. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going. I'm with the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. His name is RJ Ochoa. You can just call him angry today. I'm Rob Thompson. I'm passive aggressive. I'm gonna just kind of like it'll just bounce off me and come back at you. Well, what about you? Be my stance today. You think the Spurs can stack some wins? They got the 76ers tonight. Forgive me if I giggle just a moment as they take on a good 76ers team. Good, man. That I watched Tyrese Maxey play when he was in high school. He's a Dallas kid. And to watch him turn into the superstar that he has become, it has really been cool. I love watching Philly, Boston, those two teams. I think right now Boston's best team at basketball. Did you see Kristaps got 32 last night?
Yeah, I was fiddling around with Underdog Fantasy.
I love Underdog, baby. I love it. I want some money this weekend.
And I jumped on at halftime. You always think like, oh, this is like for sure. This is easy. At halftime, I jumped on Kristaps. I needed to get 1 3-pointer in the second half.
He got you one, didn't he?
He got me 2.
Yeah, at 32 last night.
And I needed 1 rebound
from
Jalen Green.
From who?
1 from Jalen Green.
And
1 didn't get it.
Jalen let you down.
1 rebound. Like what? Like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like
You know, Bruce, I'm looking at our YouTube feed, and if you're not there, you should. It's worthy just to watch the comments. And everybody who's up on there, we appreciate you. If you're on there now, make sure you're subscribing.
Subscribe, like the video, pay the like
every day.
tax,
Yes.
like the video where you're at.
And Bruce, you got something on there. And the topic of the day has really been, is Jerry a good owner? I mean, just at the end of the day, after everything is said and done, do we have an owner that we trust that's going to do everything in his power for them to go win a Super Bowl? And I don't believe that's the case at all. Because I don't think that's just one of the many parts of what goes into being a good owner. But Bruce says, let's be the first fan base to boycott games. It ain't going to happen, baby. It's just not. That doesn't, well, they go and wear paper bags, but you don't boycott.
I disagree with Bruce. Bruce, big fan. But why should we negatively impact our own experience? You know what I mean? Like, I've never understood the idea of boycotting games. Like, why do I want to miss out? And why do I want to be, even more upset? You know what I mean? You mentioned it, do everything he can. It was like 2 years ago now, Jerry was doing one of his hits on the fan on Sean and RJ. And I'm paraphrasing here, but said something along the lines of, if you knew the size of the check that I would write to guarantee us winning the Super Bowl, it would be embarrassing. It would be outlandish. I mean, he kind of, really went into this. And it's like, okay, then why are you the last team to sign an external free agent? Like, why don't you, why are you afraid to make a move at head coach? Like, if you would write this big time, like, galaxy defining, check, why can't you do the bare minimum then?
I think you hit it on the head. He would write the check because that's the easiest way to do it. I'd happily write $100 million check today.
I don't think you would.
I think he would. I think he would, because that, if you told him, look, $100 million, you get a title, that's so much easier than 3 years of work and $70 million worth of work. You know what I mean? I think he'd write the check. I think he'd write it right now. $100 million, I'm in. 1,000 million, $1 billion. I'll write you $1 billion. I'll give you 1/8 of the value of my franchise, or 8 or 10%. You don't think he would? You think money is that important?
I think he would if he viewed it as a proper investment. If he were like, look, if I cut this check, it's going to lead to X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and D.
There'd be some ROI. Yeah.
But if the return on investment is minimal, then it's really not.
It won't be any more than he has now. That's the problem. He's already got the most expensive franchise in the world. He bought this thing for nothing, and now he is the envy of Saudi Emirates. He is the envy of European dukes and duchesses. He has what everybody chases, and a title won't add to that. He's already got rings on the wall. He's got, of all the broadcasts that are going on the NFL, it's him that leads the way. He only plays noon games twice a year. He has a desperate desire. It's built into the contract for Bezos and NBC. Hey, we get him once. You better give us the Cowboys once. And you want him to go, what more do you want me to do?
Well, so you mentioned how infrequently they're in the noon hour. Do you know that the Texans played 3 games outside of the noon hour all season? And I'm a fan of the Texans. Like, I'm not saying this to spite them. I'm just, these are the facts. The 3 games, Robert, that they played outside of the noon hour, the Houston Texans, were the final game of the regular season, which was that win in situation against Indianapolis in Week 18. So it was an effective playoff game. And then it was their 2 playoff games, obviously, against and when they played Cleveland that was the afternoon window. And I noticed it at kickoff. I don't know if you did. They had the truss above NRG Stadium casted a shadow, like, into the field. And I was like, that's kind of strange. Like, I've never really seen that. Like
with the roof open like that.
Well, but I've never really seen that shadow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of, because anytime you see it, it's kind of, either the roof is closed, to your point, or there's just overall sun. And then I looked it up, and they had played, I think they've played like 8 games at home in the afternoon window, like ever.
Like never past noon.
Like it's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying that to, like, pick on the Texans, but like the Cowboys can be the dysfunction of dysfunctions, and they are the hottest ticket in town. The NFL, television evaluators will not look at these 2 teams this season and be like, the Texans want a playoff game with the Cowboys. Then let's take more Texans in the prime windows. No one will do that ever, and Jerry knows that.
It's 10-1 fandom. 10-1. And it's
I
like
don't
that
even think
across
it's
the
10 to 1.
might be
I think
100 to 1.
It's way more than that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 100 to 1. It's 10 to 1 probably in Texas and 100 to 1 across the country. As over the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing a little bit more, red and blue, a little bit more battle red, as it were. As we come to the conference championship games, we'll have them all for you live right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to start early on Sunday and go all day long. Thanks to Flight by Yingling, it's all brought to you by them. If you can't be in front of a screen, you can be in front of a speaker, and we'll get you where you need to be. These are the teams. I think about week 12. We all were pretty comfortable with these 4 teams, right? Or was Kansas City written off? Was Lamar Jackson's playoff troubles in the way? San Francisco had a couple of hiccups, but I think at the end of the day, the 4 teams we thought would be part of the final 6 are here. No surprise.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knew San Francisco. That was really when Baltimore kind of began to establish themselves at the top of the AFC. I don't think anybody ever truly wrote off Kansas City because it's impossible.
No, I think a lot of us wanted to, but we didn't.
like wanted to and actually did. Like actually would have put money on it or different things. So we knew they'd probably be left because that's who they are. And then it was I think a lot of people foolishly, stupidly, dumbly thought, oh, Dallas will get there, and then they'll go lose in the title game to San Francisco. Like they'll get through, because that was when the Eagles skid kind of started to really start.
Mm-hmm.
And people they were like, they'll get through them, then they'll get through Tampa or whoever wins the South. Of course, that didn't happen. And so, I mean, I don't know.
Rank your quarterbacks that are left.
Lamar.
Lamar won.
Right now, Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes.
2. Okay. 3. Goff.
I might go Goff. I mean, like
he's on fire, man. I think Goff is. It's hard to argue. I mean, we only got 4 quarterbacks still playing, but I do think Goff is worthy of the spot. And Purdy is a functionary. He is a product of whatever Kyle Shanahan draws up. No more, no less.
And like the thing about this time of year is you got to be willing to do some stupid stuff. Like what this whole run, like a playoff run, is like. You were unaware of the challenge on MTV, which is a sin of yours I'm willing to overlook. But much like other reality TV competitions, when they run a final or a big competition, whatever, there's an eating portion. You got to eat like some horrible thing, whatever. There's some eating involved in the playoffs, right? Like there's a point where you got to eat something gross, and there's always one person on every season that's like a psycho about it. You know what I mean? The person that's like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you got some ranch dressing, like, I'll lay that on here, and I'll just, like, and everyone else is, like, vomiting, and this other person's just, like, eating it in, like, this cool, calm way. That's Dan Campbell. Like, we're about to reach the eating portion of this, and Dan Campbell is built for this.
He has embraced the suck. He's good at this. It's funny when you look at the 4 teams that are here. You look at Baltimore, their best wide receiver is rookie and Zay Flowers.
He's awesome, though.
Oh, he is. I mean, they've all got an awesome one. I'm not saying none of them do. Goff's got, like I said, it's Travis Kelce, right? There's no wide receivers in, or is it Pacheco? Is who is the Robin to Mahomes' Batman? Do you expect
it's Trav? I mean, he had 2 touchdowns yesterday.
He did.
Back.
It'd been a month or so since we'd seen him, but Pacheco, 4 or 5 games, has 100 yards.
If they're back though, and Pacheco adds a new element to what we've seen from the Chiefs, and we kind of saw that last year. But if the Kelce connection is back, did you see him, by the way, put the celebration?
Oh God, I did. What about Purdy? It's Purdy and
the Debo thing is
a little concerning, right?
Like, yeah, so it might be Brandon Ayuk, it might be George Kittle, but dude, Kittle had that horrible drop. Like,
but he had he had some other. He made up for it.
I know, but man, the Niners the Niners were like begging the Packers to win that game. You know what I mean? They just kept like giving them like opportunities to kill them and kill them and kill them, and they just didn't do it. Man, yeah.
Detroit.
But, like, who's that dude on the line? Like, is it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Well, he's the best. Yeah, Laporta? It is. Laporta, I think, is C. I think as Amon-Ra St. Brown goes, and if I was a Detroit fan, I would love it just because I'd get to say Amon-Ra St. Brown over and over and over. Because you can't just say St. Brown, and you can't just say Amon-Ra. You have to say the whole thing. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's a difficult name to sign. Like, imagine filling out paperwork.
Yeah, and his brothers. What are his brothers' names? There's Amon-Ra, Equanimous, and then there's another one, right? Or is that just those 2?
No, it's the 2, and their father is former
like a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah, the former. I think it's Mr. Universe is what he was.
Something like that. I think as he goes, they go. Baltimore, I'm not sure it's Zay Flowers. I'm not sure. I don't know who it is for Baltimore.
Isaiah Likely.
You think so?
Mark,
it feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Mark Andrews could play. I mean,
if he's healthy.
By the way, I'm obviously not done smiting the Cowboys. So the Ravens have now reached their 5th conference championship in franchise history. It's amazing, considering how young. Do you know this is the first one that they'll ever host? Isn't that amazing? Like the 4 they've played in previously, they've all been on the road. But so they've reached their 5th conference championship. The Baltimore Ravens, an incredibly successful franchise that's won 2 Super Bowls. The Baltimore Ravens, who literally did not exist the last time the Cowboys reached the title game.
Well, they kind of did. They were just playing.
Well, I know, but the Baltimore Ravens, copyright, circle, trademark, whatever logo, did not exist as an entity.
Would you, as growing up in the Cowboy orbit and knowing what the Cowboys have been even before Jerry got there, I mean, they were still America's team and Tex Schramm and all that stuff. Is it easier being a fan of the Cowboys than it is of the Ravens, who consistently win? And Pittsburgh might fall into that, but are boring.
No.
Okay. I'm trying to find why, as Cowboy fan, and most I think are shocked when you hear, they're the longest standing NFC team to not go to the not a Super Bowl, just an NFC championship game. It's been forever. Now Detroit has been there more recently, and certainly Washington and ownership, but Jerry has been the longest. And I don't think most Cowboy fans put it in that, because while it's been a long time, it certainly hasn't been dull. I mean, I haven't been bored ever. And Raven fan, at some point, Raven fan might have yawned a couple times, but at least there's that.
I think Cowboys fans would very happily trade lives with Ravens.
I don't know if we would. I honestly don't know.
They're about to have. They've been to 5 title games. They've won 2 Super Bowls. They have multiple Hall of Famers. They're one of the best drafting teams in the NFL with their previous, general manager oversee group, and now their current one. They're about to have 2 different MVP awards from the same quarterback. The Cowboys have never had a quarterback win MVP. They're just cool.
Their backup quarterback went to the Pro Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but when you think of the Ravens, you're like, oh, they're cool. Like there's nothing you ever think of except there's never a Raven, moment that isn't cool. They're just they're always cool. Yeah, bring the Ravens. Let the Ravens come to the party. They're cool. I'm cool with the Ravens. Everybody's cool with the Ravens.
Well, because they're indifferent. They don't move the needle. That's what I'm talking about. Come on over.
I would take having on-field success 100 out of 100.
I think today we say that.
Dude,
but I think it's a little bit more fun being a Cowboy fan. There are the miserable times.
I mean, if you're a masochist, then maybe. But
I think there might be some of that to it. But I just when you told me that, gave me that number this morning, I couldn't believe it, and I thought, well, how did I manage to make it this long?
Here we go, Rob. Let me flip the script for you. Would you trade being a Spurs fan for being a Sixers fan?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's what you just asked. That's the equivalent of the Sixers. They're always entertaining. You know what I mean? There's always something going on. It's never boring. You know what I mean? But the Spurs, you yawned a couple times. You know what I mean? Over the last 25 years.
Well, I think the more appropriate. Well, the Lakers have actually won.
That's
I'm trying to find another team that would be a little bit.
I thought about going Clippers, but that didn't feel like it worked.
No.
You could maybe go Celtics.
I think the Celtics might be a more appropriate.
They had the one title.
Yeah.
But fine. Excluding the title, pretending the title never happened. Would you rather be a Celtics fan than a Spurs
fan? Spurs fan.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say we've kind of lost you off the deep end a few times today. That would have been way too far.
Yeah, that would have gone way too far. Hey, I owe you some tickets. His name is Willie Barcina. He is coming to San Antonio to entertain and make you laugh. He will be performing at the Aztec Theater on February the 2nd, and believe me, that's real soon. You want to go, get on the phone, 656-3776, 656 ESPN to you and me. And if you're caller number 6, you're going to go see Willie Barcina at the Aztec Theater. This is a Live Nation gig. If you want to go, you can buy your tickets right there. We got some Spurs talk headed your direction. They're up in Philly. Can they take down Joel MVP-ness? We'll talk about it next. And I said it. It's R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller. chief oral surgeon at Doctors Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or this or that.
At Doctors Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full-mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com. If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Hi, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. With the NBA season in full swing, you want in on the action? Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, which is a ton of fun to play. It is fantasy, but you can win real cash money, and it is legal in Texas. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select whether they will be higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It certainly makes watching our local basketball team or your favorite players a lot more interesting. Underdog is super easy to play and get started. Download the easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than half a total yard to use on your first Pick'em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Rob and RJ. Hey, we're playing golf here in a couple months. Despite the weather over the last couple of days, all this rain is going to turn the golf course at Texas into a lovely, lovely walk that will not be spoiled by hitting the ball. We want you to come play with us. It's easy to do. You go to sasportstar.com, get yourself signed up. There are already entries, which tells me we're going to sell out fast. We normally are kind of a walk-up crowd. You know, this is San Antonio. Start showing up about a week ahead of time. I don't think that's going to be the case. We're going to be out at the Golf Club of Texas. We would like for you to come and play with us. The tournament itself is March the 25th. If you want to play, you can go to sasportstar.com. It costs $120 for one of you to join. And if you're a single, want to play, no worries. We'll find you a team if you got your foursome. Get it all signed to get yourself in to guarantee your spot. That's Golf Club of Texas. On March the 25th, we will be swinging the clubs and playing. Spurs get to try to stack victories 2 in a row. Maybe a chance in 2 wins in a row for twice in the last couple of weeks. That's it doesn't look good. I mean, it is the Sixers after all, but a worthy effort last night as the Wizards offered enough. They're as bad as the Spurs are, and the Spurs have Wemby, and he had 24. You look at what Trey Jones did. He filled the boxes, dang near a triple-double. He had assists, he had blocks, he had steals, he had points. He did everything that was required of this new point guard, and we're seeing Jeremy Sohan find himself 23. Devin Vassell offered 21. Now the Sixers, that's an entirely different bucket of worms.
Yeah, Spurs are tied for the biggest underdogs of the night. What do you think the line is?
If I was a betting man, I would not get anything closer than about 10, 8.5 to 10. What's that? 7?
It is at 14.5.
A 14.5. Man, no love given. I wonder what kind of matchup. Well, I wonder what kind of matchup we're going to see. Is Embiid going to play basketball with Wemby? Going to go out there and see about 15 foot of center dribbling at each other, taking threes and little hezzies, between the legs, attack the rim. Is he going to come and play that game, or is he going to weight room Wemby all night long, or Zach?
Yeah, I think this is a physical, welcome to the league type of, I'm not the same old thing, that you can kind of just dance around. I'm a monster, and you got to go through me.
Yeah, the way that they should attack. What do you think of Zach Collins' usage coming back? It was. I wasn't sure how Pop was going to use Zach, because the Spurs had actually, I don't want to. They had actually gotten better, and Zach got hurt. I mean, he got hurt back before the new year. We've seen an improvement. I think a lot of that had to do with the change in point guards. But I felt like Zach offered, what did we get last night from him? 20 minutes, 8 points, only 1 3. That's the Zach Collins that's going to get minutes. That's not he didn't get to play Wemby.
Right. I mean, it's fine. You're right, but I mean, this is an interesting moment, I guess. Not an opportunity, I guess. I mean, because the one in Boston, they kind of failed, significantly. Right? Like, what's the measuring stick? I hate to even call it that because it's not like it really is. But what's the last measuring stick that they lived up to?
The Spurs?
Yeah.
As far as wins, expectations.
Yeah, as far as we expect you to put on a bit of a show tonight, even if you lose. We understand what's.
Well, I would say the last 2 weeks, Charlotte withstanding, I would say they have been competitive in just about every game. Now that doesn't mean competitive is one thing, winning's another. But I would say I have seen a turn for the better recently, and nothing feels better than getting a win on the road. And I don't care who you're playing. The Wizards circled the Spurs as a win. They're awful too. They're looking for wins too. So whenever the Spurs play bad teams, they're going to get their best effort. They're going to get the best effort from the Wizards, because the Wizards are going to play harder against the Spurs than they do against Boston, because Boston is foregone. We're going to lose no matter what we do. I'm going to go get mine tonight. But on a game against the Spurs, we see a Kyle Kuzma, kind of doing some stuff a little bit extra, because you get the sense, at least on Saturday, or that he was auditioning, as his name has been mentioned a couple of times.
Wednesday, Oklahoma City. Chet. You looking forward to that?
Well, think of the gauntlet that Wemby's had to go through. He's going to get Embiid, and then he's going to get Chet. This is the league that he has come into. That now there's guys his size just about every night. There only won't be 1 or 2 of them, but you get to play that kind of size and get to go do stuff. Coming off a game, as you said earlier in the show, Wemby was good, but he wasn't great. It wasn't his best outing. It was more of a volume night when you look at the scoring. There was a concerted effort last night. Victor wanted to score. He was told, keep shooting.
Yeah. I think he played 6 minutes in the first quarter. And it's kind of like, dude, I mean, we were all excited. You know what I mean? I mentioned underdog a little while ago. I took more on I think it was Wemby, because we've been talking all week long, like point him at a guy, point him at a guy, point him at a guy. And I think it was like 22 and a half. And I was like, oh, he's getting 23 minutes tonight. Like, this is easy money. And, he ultimately hit it, but it was a little bit touch and go in the first half because I was like, what is he doing only getting 6 minutes in the first quarter? I mean, like, what is the point in that?
Well, that is Pop getting mad at his big five for passing up some shots. I think they came into the evening expecting him to do some things, and he had to sit and watch, and he came back in, to his credit, in a 131-127 win, and kept shooting, man. Big threes were made. He was a defensive presence, as he always is, but as good of a all-around game from the Spurs bigs as we saw Jeremy get 23, Devin with 21, and Wemby with 27 or 24, whatever the number was. And that is a prescription. That is where the Spurs win basketball games. Now, we come into this game tonight riding a strange streak. A streak that, when you think of teams that won the lottery, that were in the lottery with the most balls, or in there, that continue to be lottery ball heavy, you don't think of teams going 100 straight games with 20 or more assists.
I don't think you think of a team in that category that you just described going 100 straight games doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to do one thing, like from a numerical, quantitative, measurable standpoint, 100 times in a row.
So
outside of
that.
like hit a 3-pointer.
And 20 assists in a game ain't hard, but it's a number that is not always achieved. I mean, look at the streaks. It has been done very rarely, especially at this length. Now, here's where it gets weird. Spurs are right there in the midst of a streak that is head and shoulders above anything anybody's done in a long time. Strangely enough, though, there's another team doing it at the same time, and that's the Pacers. Now, there's some games behind, but they're really close. And nothing like this has happened since the 80s. There hadn't been a team average this number of assists for this long, not average, get 20 or better in a row, 100 times or better, since the 83-84 Lakers, the Magic, Kareem, Worthy.
84 through 86.
84 through 86 was their 120 game, whatever it was, 124. That is highly skilled. And then the next one come closer to that was Detroit, right? This is the bad boys of Detroit with Isaiah and Dumars and that crew. And then we go 30 years until
Indiana has tied that record. But like, just to kind of put it in perspective, so of active streaks, the Spurs are at 100 games, the Pacers are at 97, the Jazz are at 63 games. So like a significant gap at that point. You go a little bit further, Miami's at 49, the Kings are at 48. Let's see here. The Warriors have a 39-game streak going of this variety. The Lakers are at 38. You know what I mean? So like, it's not uncommon to go about like half a season. You know what I mean? Like,
because 20 plus ain't that hard.
Right.
If you're making shots, if you're shooting 50 or better, there's 20 assists in just about every game. If you're shooting 50 or better, or you better rebound like madmen to get the ball back up to do that kind of stuff. And I think you look at what the Lakers did, they were just making shots, easy shots, lots of bounce pass layups. When you look at what Detroit did, lots of jump shots, lots of putbacks with Mahorn and Lane Beer grabbing rebounds and Vinny hitting, 5 shots in a row. And then we go 30 years. We go a long time until anything comes even close to that. And the two teams that are doing it ain't that good. They're not even good. Well, the Pacers are getting there, but I wouldn't call them good. They're just competitive now. And they did it without Pascal, and did a lot of this without Halliburton being Halliburton. And then there's the Spurs.
To your point, the Jazz, even though their streak is at 63, not, like an amazing team. Miami, okay, like Sacramento, you know what I mean? But their streaks are well below 50. And so this is.
Well, it tells me that it's a false stat, that it's a good stat to aim toward, but that's not be all end all. It tells me that both the Pacers and the Spurs don't have a star. We got to keep passing until somebody's going to start making some shots. They don't have one. If you're a point guard dominant leading score kind of team, now Durant and the Golden State Warriors with all those shooters back in the day did a lot like what the Lakers did. They had a nice long streak too, because that was nothing but scores, right?
Numbers are so funny, Rob. I'm playing with this. If you just up it to 22, at least 22 assists in a game, the Pacers are still active, but their streak drops all the way to 46. That tells you, like, there's been somewhere it's been 20 on the dot, 21 on the dot. I mean, like, they're flirting with it, but we're on assist watch tonight. Got to hit 20.
It is the record to chase as they go into Philadelphia and take on Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Tobias and the rest of that crew. As we wave goodbye to James Harden last year, you think about teams that are better by subtraction. They're a title contending team that, the Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey variable, I think, are going to play true. I see them playing Boston in the conference finals. I think those are the two best teams. We're going to find out tonight. It'll be an early tip for your San Antonio Spurs. Wemby going at it yet again. Can they stack 2 wins? I'm sure we will undress it all tomorrow. Hey, coming back, let's look back to what we saw. And what's that going to tell us coming up on Sunday? The division championships are set. Now let's see if the conference can actually measure up to what we saw last weekend. Great games last weekend. Will it be equaled coming up? We'll look at what we got coming up next. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I love Mondays. I love waking up on Monday and standing on the scale and looking there and going, you know what? I might have transgressed this a little bit over the weekend, but I didn't gain any weight. And what little I did, I know I will continue to drop because I've been going to the Institute for Functional Health and Dr. Jacob Torres for a long time now. And you can tell when you see me, you can tell something has happened over the last 6 or 8 years that I am not the same person I was. I'm a shadow. I'm kidding. But I've lost enough weight to where now I feel as good as I have in a long time, down about 70 pounds or so. And I continue to lose because now I'm not on a diet. I'm just living my life, a life that was taught to me and the way to live it by Dr. Torres. He explained to me why food matters. You don't have to eat bad food. You just eat, you don't have to eat like totally healthy quinoa. You just got to eat good food on a regular basis and mind your P's and Q's and pay attention to the little things. And when you do that long enough, those little things turn into big things. And before you know it, you've lost some weight. And then you start losing more weight. You feel good about yourself and you like the way you look. So you lose some more weight. And before you know it, that's just your life. And that's where I am now. It's called the Institute for Functional Health for a reason. I am as functionally healthy as I have ever been. And I am 57 years old. If you are sick and tired about being sick and tired, if you're chasing that next caffeine hit, if you have hit one more belt loop, if that is all part of your life, I want you to call Dr. Torres. Because once you resolve to lose weight, you need some help. And the help is coming in Dr. Torres and what he does. Because he'll put together a plan that fits you, that has fit me, and they're all different. If you've resolved, it's time. I want you to call Dr. Torres, find out what I know. It's an easy call. He'll talk to you however you'd like. You can go. I would also recommend going by his office. The number you need is 210-468-1891. The website with all the details you need is iffhealth.com. Listen to me. If it's time to change your life, call him today. Get yourself on a program you can live with for a long time, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the AFC, NFC championship games are set. What a weekend of football it was. We'll react to it all.
Absolutely, we will. Plus, we'll get you the latest on the Spurs after their weekend. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Here in San Antonio, if our football teams aren't winning, we make changes. So if you're losing against your non-energy efficient windows, call Maverick Windows at 800-972-3631 and get a free quote for new energy efficient windows. That's 800-972-3631.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some Prize Picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Ectoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Ectoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Ectoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Ectoderm Flare Control Cream. Ectoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This year, Every Plate is serving up their most sizzling deal yet. $1 steak every single week. Not only can you dig into 10 ounces of delicious steak for just $1, but you can enjoy Every Plate's other tasty meals for just $1.49 each. Whether you're resolving to save money or just want to enjoy every bite in 2024, America's Best Value Meal Kit has you covered. Get started with $1 steak every week and meals for $1.49 each with code MSJ49 at everyplate.com. Everyplate.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Happy Monday. Be safe in the rain, in the cold, whatever you got going on. It is a divisional round recap Monday. We have the final 4 teams left in the NFL. Amazing. It all comes down to this. I mean, you watch all the games, you put in all the time, you make all the food, you set all your fantasy lineups, and it all always ends the same way. We've been talking about the Cowboys and how it ends the same way for them. I'm just kind of sick of talking about the Cowboys. I want to talk about the 4 teams that are left. I mean, we have 2 incredible games happening this weekend with tickets at Super Bowl 58 on the line. Super Bowl 58 will obviously be there, myself and Rob. The Kansas City Chiefs are kind of bordering on inevitable territory here. They have now reached, if you are somehow unaware, their 6th straight. That is 6. 1 shy of doing the Monica Geller 7 hands. 6th straight AFC Championship game. How's that possible? I mean, like, I know I said I didn't want to talk about the Cowboys, but, like, we would take 1. You know what I mean? Like, we would take 1 tiny little crumb of 1. Just give us, and that's such a sad and pathetic thing to say, and it's sad and pathetic to put it that way. We would take 1. I mean, we would take 1 and be very happy for a very long time. I mean, the Chiefs are so selfish and hoarding them all, just taking them all for themselves. 6 straight AFC Championship games, and all sorts of teams have tried to come for the Chiefs in that time. You think about it, obviously, this dates back to the beginning of the Patrick Mahomes era. 2017 was his first season in the NFL. He was a rookie, barely played. Obviously played that week. Was it 17 games? Those before 17 regular season games were part of the schedule. But the Chiefs lost that year in 2017 in the divisional round of the playoffs and knew it wasn't enough. And so went with Mahomes. Obviously, that was the future. 2018, he was MVP. Make it to the title game. They lose to the Patriots, who go on to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Hey, no harm, no foul. Sometimes people lose to the Patriots. But then they became the Patriots. In 2019, they got there. The Titans, who had shocked the world, somehow found themselves at Arrowhead and couldn't get it done. Okay, so Chiefs go on. They beat the Niners. They ran that wasp play, whatever it was. And all of a sudden, here we go. 2020, they not only make it back to the AFC title game, the Kansas City Chiefs do. They play the Buffalo Bills. I think that gets forgotten. Obviously, the Bills have had their – and by the way, the Bills' AFC title game appearance is an example of – I know we had a caller who said earlier, there are Cowboys fans who say, I would be so happy with just an NFC title game appearance. No, you wouldn't. The Bills were in the AFC title game 3 years ago. You think any of them are happy after everything? Like, once you taste it, you can't. That's not enough. You need way more. You simply cannot just say, we made it to the title game and I'm good with that. So if you think that you really are going to be fine with that, look at the Bills right now. But the Chiefs beat the Bills. They go on to lose to the Bucs in the Super Bowl, their second straight Super Bowl appearance. 2021, the Chiefs, they do it all over again. They get back to the AFC Championship game. They collapse. Nobody ever gave them any grief for collapsing in that game, by the way. They lose the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals go on to lose the Super Bowl to the Rams. Okay, 2022, they get back. Last year, they hosted, despite all odds, despite everything working against them. They get revenge on the Cincinnati Bengals. They win it. They go to the Super Bowl, and thank God, beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are just unreal. It's unbelievable. I mean, this AFC title game is the first one they'll play in that won't be at Arrowhead in this era. So, what a horrible disadvantage, what a horrible, rub of the green for them. But sometimes that's just the way it goes. But the Ravens, on the other hand, I mentioned it a little while ago, did not exist the last time that the Dallas Cowboys appeared in an NFC title game. Dallas obviously won that game. They have since made it to 5 of them, the Baltimore Ravens, and they have won 2 in the past and went on to win the Super Bowl in each instance. The most recent, of course, was now 11 years ago, the 2012 season. Like Kansas City, the Baltimore Ravens beat the New England Patriots in the AFC title game on the road to beating the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. Both the Chiefs and Ravens have Super Bowl wins over the Niners in recent history. So kind of an interesting boat for Niners fans to be in right now, an opportunity for revenge one way or another. Lamar Jackson, though, is playing just at the most stupid, incredible rate. And I think, I know we all want to see Baltimore, San Francisco. If anyone's unaware, there's a great site, FTN Fantasy. They do a great job of tracking all sorts of things. They have a metric that's called DVOA. Edwin, are you a DVOA believer?
I know EPA.
EPA is one method of evaluation, but DVOA basically measures how efficient teams are and measures how good a team is every week. And the 2023 Ravens and 2023 Niners are literally 2 of the best teams ever, according to DVOA. Not just 2 of the best teams or the 2 best teams in the NFL this season. They are literally 2 of the best teams that DVOA has ever measured. DVOA goes all the way back to 1981. Aaron Schatz and the FTN Fantasy team did a very good job. Jeff, I see you saying Ravens versus Niners Super Bowl. Been predicting it since before the 2 played in the regular season. By the way, I know there's the local news picture or whatever that's going around with some local news broadcasts noted that Usher and Reba and whoever would be performing. It's like the graphic said at the Super Bowl between the Ravens and the Niners. So of course everybody's now like it's scripted and blah, blah, blah. I'd be fine with this Super Bowl for what it's worth. But I mean, I think the Lions and Chiefs certainly has something to say about that. But by the way, if it's Lions and Chiefs, we get the season bookended by the very same game. It was the Lions in Kansas City at Arrowhead to kick off the season. And if we got them in the Super Bowl, that would be a kind of fitting end. I don't think anyone's really considering that option. I think most people think Baltimore, San Francisco, or Baltimore, Detroit are the 2 most likely options. Maybe Detroit, Baltimore kind of sneaks in there as well. But Baltimore now, their 5th conference championship game ever. And again, all occurring since the Cowboys last made it there themselves. Detroit is in there for the first time since 1991, as has been well documented. They beat the Cowboys. The Lions did that 1991 season to get to the title game. They obviously lost to the Washington franchise. That was their last appearance as well. So I think we're all rooting for Detroit. I don't know anyone who has beef with the Lions and what they're doing here. Let's see here. By the way, as we're talking, report from NFL Network's Tom Pelissero that the Titans plan to bring in Dan Quinn for a second interview for their head coaching job this week. He is the 3rd candidate to get a second interview with Tennessee. Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown and Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan have also both gotten second interviews. So that is now second interviews for Dan Quinn with both the Seattle Seahawks and Tennessee Titans. if you are like me, you are rooting for Dan to get one of these jobs because, hey, Dan, we want the best for you in life personally. So enjoy it. But, the Cowboys had to make a change. That wouldn't be the worst thing. Jeff says Harbaugh is the most underrated coach in the league. I completely agree. Harbaugh's found a way to do it and survive and adapt and adjust, in different eras. He's done it different ways. He's done it with great defenses. He's done it with great special teams. People forget he was a special teams coordinator. That's how John Fossil got hired. He was the Philadelphia Eagles special teams coordinator, got the head coaching job, obviously in Baltimore back in 2008, and took that team to the AFC Championship game. They were, they were cool. They made it cool to take a rookie head coach and rookie quarterback there before D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud did. So, but Detroit, like I said, first title game appearance in forever. It's going to be such a bummer if they lose. I don't think we're ready for this ride to end, and that's why I think we're all rooting for Detroit. But they are serious underdogs. Opening lines came out for the conference championship games, and they do favor the teams that we're all fans of. The Ravens are 3-point favorites at home against the Chiefs, but that's still just a classic 3-point home field advantage. So Vegas believes these are equal teams on a neutral field, which certainly at least raises my eyebrows relative to the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Lions are 6.5-point underdogs on the road against the Niners. Joel Garcia says it's ending. Go Niners. Probably so. I mean, I think so, but I would be lying if I said I was not rooting for the Lions. So these are great teams. I mean, could I sub in the Bills for the Chiefs and feel good about it? Sure. Would I like to sub in the Cowboys for the Lions and pretend that life is good? Yeah, but they're bad. I don't think the Eagles were worthy, obviously. The Rams were cute. The Packers were cute. But ultimately, these are probably the 4 best teams. It feels like the tournament kind of weeded it out that way, which is always, what you want to see at this particular part of the season. So early picks, reserve the right to change them, obviously. I'm going to go Baltimore and Detroit. Why not? I'm going to root for what I want to see. But it will be an interesting week. Obviously, we'll see what happens with Debo. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Sam Laporte has been playing, but, been battling that bone bruise situation. Obviously, Kansas City's got some stuff going on. Baltimore is just, whatever. Joel says 6.5 is close. The home team usually gets 3. I would argue, Joel, that 6.5 is pretty big. That's a pretty big line. So Detroit's got their work cut out for them. But if any team is unafraid of the work, we know it to obviously be the Detroit Lions. On the subject of lines, I was mentioning this with, a little while ago. Spurs are 14.5-point underdogs tonight, and it's difficult to argue against that. They are one of 2 14.5-point dogs on Monday. The other, of course, would be the Hornets. They are 14.5-point dogs against the Timberwolves, the same Hornets who just beat the Spurs. Of course, by the way, the Pistons are 12-point home dogs against the Bucks. So it was kind of a close game on Sunday between Milwaukee and Detroit. So maybe it went down to the wires. Maybe Detroit finds a way to either make it close again or outright steal it. Who knows? You never know in the world of sports. That's why they play the games. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with this Dan Quinn thing. If he does get one of the, and it feels like this would be the week. I think that the NFL probably wants some of these openings to get squared away. Obviously, it's tough with Ben Johnson still active with the Lions. I don't know that there's any other coordinators who are highly sought after that are on active teams, but the Texans, obviously, Bobby Slowick's now available to chat and to be a part of interviews if he's going to be, in his own right. But in the Bucks, I'm curious to see if Dave Canales of the Bucks ultimately fields a late interview in the process. He had a great performance. I thought Tampa's offense was really, really, really impressive. Even though they lost to Detroit, they were obviously particularly impressive in the win last Monday, a week ago today, against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Bucks have been I'm going to be so fascinated to see if they want to retain Baker, if they want to move on, what the Lions are going to do, if the Lions are going to give Jared Goff an extension, because the whole process with Jared Goff was always, hey, let's just get through this and then, we'll move on. You might have forgotten the Lions drafted Hendon Hooker a year ago. And so they've had him on ice, and I mean, not that he's a threat to Jared Goff right now, but I think Jared Goff is changing their plans a little bit, kind of altering what they thought the rebuild was going to ultimately look like. But nevertheless, I don't think anybody's mad if they're a Lions fan that things worked out this particular way. I'm excited for the week ahead. Conference Championship Sunday. No more Saturday games. We all suddenly have Saturdays free to do whatever we want around the house or, figure things out, get chores done, want to go for a run. I know that the weather hasn't necessarily been cooperating with doing anything outside, but I mean, you could figure things out, find a way at some point in time. But football is fun, and we only have 3 more games left of it. So it goes by in the blink of an eye. I mean, college football has been over for what feels like a month already. That's obviously not the case, but it is precious, this football season of ours. And then attention obviously always shifts. The Astros, by the way, traded for Josh Hader over the weekend, or as the weekend began on Friday. So, Edwin, I see you shaking your head. I mean, I don't know what that's about, man. I mean,
Well, my former team traded him away a couple years ago, the Milwaukee Brewers.
I know so you're a Brewers fan. I've heard this, right?
I was born in Milwaukee, so yeah, we traded him away a couple years ago.
Yeah, are you?
So.
Well, I know that I was looking on the Brewers subreddit, and they thought that a reunion might happen. I mean, did you want that?
Absolutely, but the Brewers haven't been doing kind of like the Cowboys. They haven't been doing smart things recently. So
I don't want to end the show on a somber note, but I predicted the D-backs to win that round. So
you're right.
I love the Brewers. I love the Brewers home building. Like, it's one of the best places to play a game on MLB The Show. There's just something about it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the vibe, but yeah. I mean, I'm happy that Josh Hader wound up on the property. I don't know what the Astro slogan is going to be this year. It better not be something lame like "Take It Back." That would be really upsetting. But our slogan for tomorrow is more fun ahead. Sports, Spurs, whatever happens tonight, I promise it will be interesting one way or another. Wemby surely going to go off. Trey Jones going to go off. But just try to manifest it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Everybody be safe. I know the weather is a little bit dire. Hope y'all are well. Hope y'all are happy. Hope y'all are well fed. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Love you all. Have a good one.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun.